consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, North Carolina's injury lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Some high thin cloud cover is streaming in this afternoon. Hurricane Milton is huge, and just a little bit of cloud cover from that will stream in for this afternoon and tomorrow. Overnight low 50. Tomorrow 70 degrees and a little breezy with gusts up to 25 miles per hour.
Weather update is brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 360 points at 42,441. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
O'Connell with 1 second, left wing three on the way, banks it in! He got it! I don't believe it!
Jeremy backs out, has Roberts on him into the paint, rises up, big time!
Young throws, he's got Tommy, near side 2-1, touchdown Carolina!
To Ryan, catch and shoot three, right wing, he did it again! Ryan has 27!
Anderson makes a save, and it's kept out by Martin! What a save! Martin just robbed Liberty!
Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly at ACC Tipoff, the official kickoff to the college basketball season. It's official because it's put on by the ACC. It's unofficial. It's unofficial because games haven't started yet. Yeah. But college basketball season is here.
Guys in uniform.
There are guys in uniforms. It is funny. They walk around for interviews. That never struck me as funny until you just said that. We interview players in jerseys. No one's playing a game today. Tim Donnelly here in Charlotte with Dennis Cox, who you just heard. Graham Hill back at the studio, keeping us up and running. Today's going to be a lot of basketball. We're going to talk to head coaches from around the ACC. Mm-hmm. We're talking Kevin Keatts, fresh off a Final Four. We're talking Jon Scheyer, fresh off of an Elite Eight. We're talking Damon Stoudamire with Georgia Tech, had a couple of upsets of Triangle teams last year. And some of the new. We're going to talk to Stanford's head coach as well, one of the new ACC teams. It always feels real when we get to ACC kickoff, tip-off, whatever it is, that the new schools are here for good. Speaking of Jon Scheyer, we'll have that conversation between myself and the head coach of Duke basketball coming up in about 15 minutes. In the meantime, there's one thing, and actually the Stanford comment I just made kind of plays into this. The changes, and it's funny, and it's one of the parts that I love about college sports are year to year, you think you know. We're seeing it in football right now. All of the, who would have guessed this? You think you know a player because they played 2 years in college basketball, 3 years in college basketball. You think you know a coach because you saw him coach a certain player a certain way last year. It all changes. Mm-hmm. Physically, it changes. Maturity changes. Transfer portal. We're interviewing players for one team this year that were with a different team that's here the same day at ACC Tipoff. Jaylen Blakes, who's now playing for Stanford, was a member of Duke last year.
We'll talk to Michael O'Connell, who previously played at Stanford. Yeah.
Which crosses all kinds of different ways. There's literally new teams here. Stanford and Cal. They're SMU, new teams in the conference. And this kind of struck me because Yesterday we were talking about Duke. We were kind of previewing all of ACC Tipoff, and somehow we got talking about the heights of Duke's players. And we pointed out that Tyrese Proctor was listed at 6'5" last year as a sophomore. He's listed at 6'6" this year, and I thought it was a basketball move, right? Like, I got shoes with thicker soles, so look at that. I'm 6'6", or I said I was 6'5" until someone else came into the team and they claim they're 6'5", and I'm an inch taller than them, so I guess I'm 6'6". Like, it's a basketball thing. Everybody lies on their height. Everyone in football is not as heavy as they say. Everyone in basketball is not as tall as they say. And we kind of joked about it. And then we got here today, and I walked by Tyrese Proctor, and I went, oh, you know what? I think he grew an inch.
Yeah.
He looks taller than he looked a season ago. I think he actually is bigger. And you go and you look it up, he's 20 years old. Yeah, he might have grown another inch and a half.
We forget that he reclassified and came to Duke a year early.
So he's a junior, age-wise sophomore. And like, go back to what the developing that still needed to happen in your life between the ages of 18 and 22. I showed up to college. I was 6'4", a little under, 175 pounds. 18 months later, I was 30 pounds heavier. Like, it's that sort of thing is going to happen. So in college basketball, it's not like somebody's going from their age 29 to 30 season. You may have watched him all last year and thought, all right, he's a finesse player. He needs to stay on the perimeter. Then they show up for their sophomore year and it's like, oh, never mind. They aren't actually a finesse player. They just had to be that last year because they hadn't yet put on the weight to throw their body around down low. The changes, I think, are fascinating here. The way teams operate. Last year, coming into for NC State, it was DJ Burns' show. Needless to say, hard to replace that guy, both in play and in personality. So they're going to be a different team. And then so one of the themes, I'm going to play both sides of the fence. One of the themes kind of changes, right? Everything is going to be different. You think you know how Jon Scheyer coaches. Guess what? Year 3, no Filipowski for the first time. Yeah. Cooper Flagg's a different beast.
Jeremy Roach is gone.
He's going to play a different offense. The other theme is kind of the more it changes, the more it stays the same, which is the ACC is the best basketball conference in the country.
Well, yeah, hands down.
And I actually think we need to spend some time making sure the ACC's self-confidence isn't wavering.
Oh, yeah.
Because, we've recorded a few of these conversations. The media availabilities for teams are different. So we've recorded a handful of them this morning. Already we're hearing, like, I've had to say I agree when they say the ACC is the best basketball conference in the country. And I'm going, oh, I know that. You know that. We know that. Let me say it, right? It's when you're good, you tell people. When you're great, other people say it for you. Like, the ACC needs to not get insecure. You are still the basketball conference preeminently in the country. And I think enough people have questioned it that it's like you're a little like, no, really, we are. It's no, we know.
Yeah.
we watched. We saw the Sweet 16. We saw the Elite 8. We saw the Final Four. We know. And we know that was a down year. So, hey, think about that.
And even Jim Phillips in his commissioner forum today even talked about
very much
being
so
undervalued.
And we have some clips we'll play later in the show from his comments. But it's the beauty with sports is at some point you're going to have to play the games. And the beauty with the way the ACC schedules is if you're better than the ACC, they'll meet you in the alley, right? When you say, like, meet me in the parking lot at 3:00, the ACC's there at 2:45 warming up. Like, they're getting limber. Like, they are ready for the fight. Correct me if I'm wrong here. All 3 triangle teams play Kansas this year, which is absurd. They are the number 1 team on the way to early top 25. And everybody is like, yeah, we'll take them. Yeah, we'll take them. Like, other conferences simply aren't doing that. So when I say the ACC is the best basketball conference in the country, I'm saying it because it's my job. I was speaking to a microphone for a living, and I observe those things. The players and coaches, I think it's let your play on the court do the talking, because That's where the ACC has always thrived, right? It's always thrived in wait till you see what happens when you have to win to advance.
Yeah.
Then we'll be there. And I don't think this year is any different. SMU, Stanford, Cal, get in where you fit in. But I'm looking at this and saying, this team might have UNC might play way faster than they played last year because Armando Bacot's not there for the first time in 5 years. Duke may play a more perimeter-oriented game because their centerpiece is Cooper Flagg instead of Kyle Filipowski. Like there's changes. State's going to have to find a way to have a different gravitational force other than DJ Burns in the middle. There's going to be differences, but I am still firmly of the belief at the end of the year we're going to be having the same conversations of if there's not a whole bunch of teams from the ACC in the NCAA tournament, that's a mistake, and then they'll go prove it when they win a bunch of games and advance further than any other conference.
The only thing you got to do is the ACCs and just go to the scoreboard in March and be like, yeah, how many teams are here? Yeah, remember, between today and tomorrow, there are 3 of the Elite 8 teams are here between Duke, NC State, and Clemson.
And I can't emphasize this enough. It was a down year.
Exactly. It was a down year. And there's also Carolina, who's a Sweet 16 team.
Our down years are your best years.
Exactly.
And that is what I think we're going to learn here at ACC Tipoff today as we air these conversations and speak to more newsmakers, coaches, and players from across the conference and across the triangle. Right now, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. We got to be in 100 different places this week. We're here in Charlotte. We're going to be back for the hockey home opener. We're going to be on Friday and Saturday, at least me, making time to make it to Bailey's Fine Jewelry for their Rolex event. It is a pre-owned Rolex show that will feature styles like the Rolex Daytona, Submariner, iconic collector's pieces like the Pepsi, the Hulk. Mark your calendar for Friday, October 11th and Saturday, October 12th. It's coming up here in a few days. And make your way to Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh's Village District. You can learn more at baileybox.com, but be sure to stop out because baileybox.com can be updated, but I don't believe they can as quickly as these watches are going to be coming and going at the Rolex event this weekend. So check it out at baileybox.com and then stop out at Bailey's Fine Jewelry October 11th and October 12th. You might just see me checking out some of the awesome watches and luxury timepieces. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the first interview of our time here at ACC Tipoff. Earlier today, we caught up with the Duke head men's basketball coach, Jon Scheyer, and you'll hear that coming up next. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
Be mentally prepared for wherever it is, as Dave Canales said, but ultimately, they gave up 36. And at the end of that game, inside of 5 minutes, frustrations boiled over. That's reminding yourself that, crap, we're right back where we started again in weeks 1 and week 2. Maybe it wasn't all just about the quarterback. Maybe that wasn't the whole play at all.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Who's ready for some football? Celebrate the season with award-winning wings and ice-cold pints at Carolina Ale House. With wall-to-wall TVs, Carolina Ale House is the go-to spot for every game. From Honey Buffalo to 5 Alarm to Carolina Barbecue, we've got wing sauces for all flavors. If you're feeling hungry, don't forget about our brisket French dip or Philly cheesesteak. Grab a front row seat, sip on your favorite beer, and watch your squad with us. Carolina Ale House. Ale, yeah.
Homeowners, listen up. The Fed has taken action, lowering rates for the first time in years, and Loan Pronto has followed suit by lowering mortgage rates big time. Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.59% APR, the lowest in 2 years. Whether you got your loan last month or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto and dump that high rate loan. You can lock in a lower rate with virtually no paperwork and usually no appraisal. There's no limit on how many times you can refi, so get started. Even if you're in process with another lender, give Loan Pronto a call. If you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Purchase loans available as well, so call now. Get your rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 919-381-1760 or loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $200 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bet. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Get ready to be captivated by a gun range like no other. Hey, it's Victoria Vodnecker here for Youngsville Gun Club and Range, the only live-fire digital indoor shooting range on the East Coast. It's open to the public, offers 20 modern shooting lanes, and carries one of the largest selections around. And speaking of the selection, YGC has the hottest firearms to accommodate individual preferences and the best prices in the area. Youngsville Gun Club and Range is conveniently located off US 1 in Youngsville, and for $10 off a range card, use promo code SPORTS. Learn more at ygunrange.com. That's the letter Y, gunrange.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan, live from Charlotte for ACC Tipoff ahead of men's basketball season. Joined now right at our little booth here by the head coach of Duke men's basketball, Jon Scheyer. Coach, this is the first year you're coaching, and there's no Flip, there's no Roach, there's no Mitchell. Felt like you guys were kind of growing together as a head coach and players. How is it breaking in some newer faces?
You know, Tim, it's been quite a ride. The first two seasons, now going into year 3. I couldn't be more excited. Miss some of those guys big time. I mean, Jeremy, what he's done for our program for 4 years. Mark, his first 2, gave us everything he had. And now Flip is, shooting 75% from 3 for the Jazz. But it's a time to take another step. I think we have a really good group. Just have to not skip steps and attack every day here.
This offseason, your guys were kind of all over the world, right? With Malawash at the Olympics, Cooper Flag with Team USA. Did that make it more difficult to not skip steps and kind of be there for the day-to-day grind?
Yeah, I mean, it's you feel excited for both of them. For Kaman to play in the Olympics at 17 is historic, and that's such a special thing, especially for his country, which the pride that his country felt just seeing South Sudan on the Olympic stage is incredible. Cooper with Team USA, but it was less time together. And so the steps that we have to make, probably didn't make as many in the summer as I would like, but their experiences, I know, were well worth it. They're in the right spot, and we've been able to attack this preseason just going at it full steam ahead.
Jon Scheyer, Duke's head basketball coach, joining us here at ACC Tipoff. The basketball stuff I'll ask you in a second, but from the media perspective, I can tell you this. Cooper Flag is really famous. It's, the Team USA select thing kind of took off and obviously, the social media and everything else. Do you prepare him differently because you know the eyeballs are going to be there?
No, to be honest. I think we understand what comes with Cooper, and he's felt it before. I think it's just a different level, a different stage, different spotlight. Our thing is all about what we can control. So our approach on the daily basis in practice, the way Cooper prepares, we know we're going to have an incredibly difficult schedule to start off the season, which we're excited about. We want to go after it and learn from it and grow. But our approach hasn't been any different just because of the attention or Cooper being famous or whatever may come with that.
You bring up the schedule: Kentucky, Arizona, Kansas in your first 6 games. The Arizona and Kansas games essentially the same weekend, really. Right. It's Friday and Tuesday. we saw recent years, there are entire conferences that are electing to like not play non-conference games like those. Why is it important that you test your team like that so early?
Well, ultimately, I sat down and we thought as a staff, what's our goal? And our goal is to become the best team possible by the end of the season. And in order to do that, you have to put yourself in some different environments. And so we had the opportunity to play. We're already playing the Champions Classic, but had the opportunity to play Arizona, play a road game, had the opportunity to play Kansas in Vegas. And then you think, well, that's why your guys chose Duke. That's why they want to come here, is to play in these environments, to play against the best competition. And so we're doing it. We're doing it. And I'm excited. And obviously we're preparing for those moments every day. But to me, that's the reason behind it.
They come to Duke to play in those moments. I've seen a lot of new faces, and traditionally, you're not the deepest bench guy. You're not rolling the 10, 11-man rotations out there. How has the competition for minutes been with, transfers who I assume aren't coming here to sit the bench? A lot of these freshmen had a lot of offers and opportunities elsewhere. How's the minutes kind of battle been?
Well, it's been competitive, and that's what you want, right? And by the way, I don't know many coaches that do play 10 or 11 guys either. Exactly.
I agree.
And so for us, that's part of what comes with coaching a team is you can't play everybody. You can't make everybody happy with all the minutes that you play, but you do want to give an even playing field and give guys the opportunity to earn it. And they've been attacking every day. And naturally, there's separation that occurs, and guys continue to earn their role. But preseason isn't finished. We still have a couple exhibition games. And I do know this. Right now, we have 10 good players that are healthy. Pat, we need to get back healthy. And in the mix, he's going to be a key guy for us. But, I know it's a good problem to have. And we'll continue to figure that out. But you want that where there's competition.
Yeah, your private jet fuels up a little slowly, right? It's a first world problem. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked last year because it played out well. I don't even want you to confirm or deny if it's a true story,
Sure.
but I love the legend of the 50 made free throws when you were in high school. You wouldn't leave the gym until you made 50 in a row. You made 49. Your dad, your coach are saying like, just leave. And you're like, no. And you stayed and made the 50th. Last year, I asked you who on the roster is most likely to have that story be about them. And you gave McCain, big shooting year, first round pick later, makes sense. This year, who's the most likely on the roster? If you learned that story about them, you wouldn't be surprised.
I won't be surprised about Con Knipple. Con is a guy who's
a lot of buzz on Con coming in.
Well,
this
he
year.
just has a no BS approach, and he's tough. He obviously can really shoot, but he's terrific. Now, the guy who's taken more shots than anybody this whole summer is Caleb Foster. Caleb has lived in the gym. To be honest with you, we've had to kick him out at times. It's too much what he's doing. But it would not shock me if you said Caleb made 50 free throws in a row, or if he made 500 or whatever the number is, he shot them. And so I'm lucky that I could give you a few guys that I won't be surprised if they did that.
Caleb Foster, have you ever had the shortest guy in your rotation be 6'5"?
No, this is the first time. I think he's 6'4", but he says he's 6'5", so I'm not sure.
Well, both he and Proctor, I think, went up an inch since last year. So they're late bloomers, I guess.
Exactly. So whether they're 6'4", 6'5", I think our positional size is a strength. The fact that our guards are bigger, well, why is that important? It's important if they become really good guard rebounders. And if your guards rebound and start your break, great things can happen. And so that's been a big challenge that we've given our guards, is to rebound and start our fast break.
I mentioned the buzz around Con Knipple this preseason. Seems like everybody that gets to see a scrimmage leaves impressed with him. And your choice of him kind of adds up to that. The other thing that's really buzzy, and this might be the media on the outside looking too far into the 15 minutes of practice we're allowed to get notes from. Cooper working out with the guards, is that by design? Is he going to be maybe on the perimeter more than we're anticipating?
Well, I think Cooper, there's a little bit of a misconception about who he is and what position he plays. Cooper's a guard. Just the fact that he blocks shots and he's 6'8" or 6'9", you try to, I think it's natural to pigeonhole him into a position when really for us he's a guard, even if we play 4 guards at the same time. And so his ball skills has been something we've worked hard at. He's developed. He's going to play in pick and roll. He needs to play on the perimeter. And then he also can post and do all that too. But to me, he is a guard. That's who he is.
Coach, we appreciate you for taking the time. 30 seconds or less here because we're up against it. Did JJ Redick reach out for any coaching advice?
No. JJ's
you
completely fine. He doesn't need my advice. But me and him we've spoken, which has been great. I'm excited for him, but no, he doesn't need any advice from me.
What are those conversations about then? Is it just like, are you just sharing baseline inbounds plays?
Well, I think both of us have empathy for the pressure you can feel or the expectations, right? I mean,
Lakers and Duke.
Coach of the Lakers and coach at Duke. And, we're thinking back to when he hosted me on an official visit when I was 16 and he's graduating, like just to think that we're in this position now. But I'm rooting for him like crazy.
Coach, we appreciate it and good luck this season.
Thanks so much, Tim.
Once again, that was the head coach of Duke men's basketball, Jon Scheyer, joining us from here at ACC Tipoff on 99.9 The Fan. And you can stamp it. Cooper Flagg, he may be 6'9" and potentially growing, but he's a guard for Duke this year. Yeah. People started throwing around the unicorn word, and it makes a little bit of sense when you hear that from Coach Scheyer. Before we move on and get to our next ACC head coach conversation, here's our very own Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. You talk about, these coaches and people we talk to, like, hey, what's someone's role? What's someone going to do for you, maybe late in games, whatever it is. I can tell you what the role that Law Tigers has for you as a motorcycle rider. They're there for you in case you are injured in a motorcycle accident. All you have to do is give them a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, even before you call your insurance company. And the reason why I say they're the people to call is because they're motorcycle riders as well. They understand what you're going through after an accident, what your bike is worth, what your gear is worth. They've been through those situations before. They understand what you're going through. And that's why your case evaluation with them is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So again, knowing when you get on the motorcycle, be prepared in case something does happen. You know who to contact. It's Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm. Also, if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, even, let's say, months ago, insurance company isn't doing what they need, still give Law Tigers a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan will continue after this with a couple of ACC head coaches. We talked with Kyle Smith, Stanford. Yes, that's an ACC school, head coach, and Damon Stoudamire, the head coach at Georgia Tech. So we'll talk to them about what life is like in the ACC heading into this basketball season. Coming up next, stick around.
Keep pounding. Panther Talk, Panthers Playbook, the Paw Print. Follow your Carolina Panthers all season with us.
Dalton is in empty. Here's the snap. Pocket holds. Andy fires downfield. 1-6. Touchdown. End zone. Center cut. Deontay Johnson.
Your home for complete Carolina Panthers coverage. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I live and work on both coasts, travel the country, and there's nothing better than Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and half-price appetizers Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. Visit all 5 Triangle locations and ask for their great daily beer specials. And how about this special? Every Sunday, they have $6 Bloody Marys and $6.50 Jamesons. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
PGA Tour champions return to Prestonwood Country Club October 11th through 13th. See legends of golf like Els, Longer, and Harrington compete right here in the Triangle. Witness the SAS Championship like never before. Introducing the Porch on 18 Hospitality Suite, your VIP ticket to golfing greatness. Enjoy gourmet food, premium drinks, and the best seats on the course. Get all details and purchase your tickets today at saschampionship.com. SAS Championship proceeds benefit the YMCA of the Triangle.
Hey everybody, Paul Weihander with 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. Think about a SGP, just a quick one for the Thursday night football game. San Francisco at Seattle. Brock Purdy, over 200 passing yards. DK Metcalf, more than 100 receiving yards. And maybe a Kenneth Walker anytime touchdown. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul. Paul with a capital P, and make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We are joined by Kyle Smith, the head men's basketball coach from new ACC member Stanford. Coach, I guess first of all, welcome to the ACC.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'm not sure if
here.
Not sure if it's settled in for you, but that kind of plays into it. You're new to Stanford. Stanford's new to the ACC. Bunch of new guys, meaning the transfers. That's just kind of the way college basketball is. Do you bake in a little bit of an adjustment period to the early part of this season for your squad?
Yeah, I mean, everything's new. We're lucky, in fact, that we got Jaylen Blakes, who will probably start and be a leader for us. He's been around the league. He's going to shepherd us through this part. But again, like as far as it's new for me, but this transition's been the easiest one I've had so far. But maybe I've had too many. I'm too used to it.
Jaylen Blakes, you bring him up. He's someone we're familiar with in the Triangle. What was it about? He didn't get a lot of minutes last year to show what he can do. What was it about him? How did you know he was the right guy to lead your program?
It's kind of a funny story, but I was actually out at Blair Academy where we went to prep school, and we're looking at some younger guys, and his coach said he was a grad transfer. I actually thought he'd just transferred 1 year, and we couldn't even do it. So, and Joe, his coach, Joe, is going back to when I was at Columbia, he's a really good coach. He said, this guy's hard known. I said, absolutely. Talk to him. And just I could tell when we did a Zoom, and I could tell when we're pitching what we talk about, attitude, work ethic, and just our little system. He just kind of wanted to I think he wanted a fresh start, an opportunity to compete against in the ACC and get a little more of an opportunity. And I said, that's a good place to start for us. He's kind of gives you an identity. He's such a tough-nosed dude.
We're talking with Kyle Smith, Stanford head men's basketball coach here on The Drive. Jaylen Blakes started his career at Duke, played there for multiple years, transfers to Stanford, as just mentioned, looking for fresh start opportunities and so much of what the transfer portal is there for. Do you encourage hey, let's make sure we circle this game on our calendar when he has the opportunity to play against the team that he's coming from? Because it's motivation, right?
Yeah,
Coaching's motivation.
He's a very much the guy that circled the day, and that's a good thing. It's a strength of his weakness. He'll be more calmed down. Obviously, he'll want to prove himself in that, and that's natural. But I'm just keeping hey, it's a long season. We'll play 31 games, and we need you in every one. But there's no way to completely temp down those emotions. He's going to be pretty excited to play there, so I'm already anticipating that.
When it comes to, I mean, I obviously looked up your history here. Pac-12, Ivy League, West Coast Conference, Mountain West, never the ACC in an assistant coaching role. What is your outlook on this conference, right? The cliche is the Big Ten is big physical, starts in the post. The SEC loves to run. Like how do you look at the ACC as a newcomer?
I think it's the best basketball conference. I think
we agree.
Yeah, I know. That's easy crowd.
Play into the
easy
hits.
crowd. Well, I grew up a big Coach K fan, and I got family actually in Hickory.
Okay.
And then Derek Phillips was on my staff for 6 years, so he kind of tried to flip me to be a Carolina guy. So I've kind of straddled the fence of both those things. But obviously, growing up watching ACC basketball, and it's a basketball league. I think, is that fair to say? Not that football's not important.
I was going to say you can go ahead and say it. I'll just make it clear
being a basketball coach.
Yep.
Being a basketball coach, the Tobacco Road and reading Feinstein, Feinstein, all the stuff that like it's been this to me versus any other league. I mean, the Big East is new to the thing. Big Ten is a football league. SEC is a football league. Stop it. I don't want to hear about it. So it's just a chance to showcase our guys. I think Stanford's a global institution, and I remember 20 years ago when Stanford was number one in the country. So be able to associate with these teams this league gives us a chance to maybe raise our profile.
We appreciate bringing all those legends that they're now ACC legends, right? It's the Lopez twins and Casey Jacobson. They're all ACC legends now.
Yeah, we've absorbed them. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. We just pretend all of those stats were in our conference. If you're a Coach K guy, is there something you pick from his career or his style, or whether it's X's and O's or personality or anything?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's such a lofty bar. He has
I try to score like Jordan. I get it.
He has about 1,000 more wins than me. But no, I just kind of like the story, the narrative. I just kind of where I was in high school, and I knew this. My dad got me on the Duke thing, and I remember I think it was 87 team with Dawkins and Amaker, and just how he had to grind through that, turn it, and just kind of follow the whole journey where he was making Final Fours and he wasn't good enough to win it, and then the full thing. But I love the idea of the student athlete. I'm at Stanford now, where guys, they wouldn't hang their championship banners unless everyone graduated, and that kind of that element and the high academic. And I've went to a little small liberal arts school, Hamilton College. I worked in the Ivy League. So actually I was gonna apply to West Point, then I saw the physical requirement, and there looked too much work. But I actually interviewed at West Point too, and I was thrilled for that opportunity. Didn't get it, but I was willing to do that. So there's a little bit of that just already worked, and kind of his story kind of resonated with me.
You bring up the student athlete part. We were here, the same exact room for ACC football kickoff, and we talked to a linebacker on the Stanford team, and I asked him, like, are the stereotypes true? And what I meant was, like, are you talking, startup equity in the locker room? And he basically, I was expecting him to
confirmed
go, no.
it. I hope he confirmed it.
Yeah, I was expecting him to go like, no, we're football guys, just like everybody. No, he was like, no, we are, like, our internships are impressive, and we are talking startups, and we are talking. Is that tough as a coach to?
No, it's no different for me. My 6 years at Columbia helped me a lot because my biggest competitor, I always said, was Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs. When these guys, when they weren't getting minutes, they'd be like, well, maybe I can, there's another path. I think Stanford does a great job of making well-rounded in that, but every alum I meet, it's either, are you private equity or are you venture capitalist? So, but it is, and it's kind of, you're in Silicon Valley, it's a big part of the culture, and it's a big attraction too. But and that's my big challenge. Like, look, you only get to play college sports for 4 years if you're lucky, and you're going to learn more from this experience than anything else you do here. Doesn't mean those other things are important, but prioritizing that. And Troy Taylor football, he gets it too. Those guys, he'll get them right. It's just like, don't want to miss out on this. Trust me, Goldman Sachs will be there forever. It'll be there.
True.
Your rest of your older life, you'll be fine.
So as we try to gauge, like, the threat of the new guy in the ACC, every alumni you meet's in venture capital. Like, we all know NIL is the giant in recruiting and in the transfer portal and everything else. Getting money at Stanford compared to like Washington State, say it's growing on trees out there. Like the mascot tree, it's just growing on it.
There's a plan at Stanford, and I would say at Washington State it was really going to be wasn't. It was really challenging because football is a big part of that, and there just wasn't a plan to do that. I think, like all schools, alums are a little resistant to the idea of paying their athletes, but I think Stanford's, stands for excellence, wants to be good in everything, and they're trying to wrap their head. And there's certain guys that want to get this thing going, and there is a certain level, but we'll keep growing. And I think if we do well, the big thing for us is getting retention. We've lost some guys in the past, few years and some of that, but I think Stanford's such a nice place, such a hard place to leave. We got to make it a hard place to leave and take care of the ones that are invested in the program.
Kyle Smith, head coach, Stanford men's basketball. Before we let you go, I do want to get like a nitty-gritty basketball question.
Sure.
Had fun
shooting
the breeze with you.
Those are boring.
We saw him walking around. Max Reynolds, 7'1", 250 listed. He appears to be one of the 7'1s that are actually 7'1". There's a lot of 7'1s that are walking around 6'9". What should we expect from him this season, building off of a year last year where he was a double-double guy?
You know what? He's got to be one of the best centers in the country as far as certainly offensively, and not that he's a bad defender, but he's 7'1". He's kind of well proportioned. He's not he looks like a 6'3" he looks like a 6'3" guy, and you're saying, oh no, he's 7'1". And the way he plays too, because he can really, really develop this perimeter game where he makes a lot of threes. He can actually make mid-range shots. He's good in the post. I've been fortunate. I've coached 3 draft picks the last 5 years, and the last 2 drafts, like they're not. And I think he's a little more prepared than those guys now, whether that happens or not, but he's just a really good offensive player that you can play through it all. He can be our de facto point guard. He's going to draw 2 defenders. And he's also a joy to coach. He's just a wonderful person. I'm just blessed when you get your best player that's really bought in and wants to be great. He's been awesome. And I've done it before where the best players, they usually have a little leverage, and it's hard to, you're coming in there, they're challenging you, and he hasn't at all. And he really loves Stanford. He could have gone elsewhere, but he wanted to finish his degree there and finish the experience. So he's kind of a role model for what we'd like to do.
Coach, thank you very much for hanging out with us, and good luck this year.
No problem. Thank you.
Once again, that was the head coach of Stanford at his first ACC tip-off, not just because it's Stanford's first. He's also the new coach at Stanford. Kyle Smith. I'm intrigued. We're going to play a conversation with Jaylen Blakes, who started his career at Duke and transferred to Stanford later today. And Stanford just keeps living up to the stereotypes, right? You just heard the coach there talking about all of the big money alumni that he has conversations with. And Jaylen later on says that the 6 players that are holdovers from the previous regime, they call like the hexalite or something like that. It's a geography joke. Stanford, just straight down the middle, Stanford. Exactly what you think. That's what I'm learning about as we get to know our new ACC member. We have an old ACC member coming up next, not the person, but the relationship, meaning the team. Georgia Tech head coach Damon Stoudamire stopped by our table here at ACC Tipoff earlier today, and we had a pretty good conversation, so go ahead and enjoy it. Coming up right now. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan, joined now here at ACC Tipoff in Charlotte by the head coach of Georgia Tech, Damon Stoudamire. Coach, first of all, thank you for stopping by. Not only are you the head coach of Georgia Tech, you're also Arizona Wildcats legend Damon Stoudamire. Is it cool seeing old Pac-12 opponents or Pac-10 opponents here, Stanford and Cal, mixing it up in the ACC?
Man, it's kind of weird. To be honest,
I'm glad it's weird for you like us.
It's weird, and I was talking to Kyle Smith upstairs, and we were talking about some of our old WCC battles. But it's weird, to see Stanford and Cal at ACC Media Day, But it's a sign of the times, and money drives a lot of things. Let's just call it what it is.
Money, exactly. Money drives a ton. Kind of the next step in your playing career as a pro, I always think of you with the Trailblazers. Those teams are where like my mind goes for Damon Stoudamire, the Rasheed Wallaces, Pippen, Bonzi. Those teams were tough as heck, right? And physical and everything else. you brought up money drives everything. College kids have name, image, and likeness. They have the cars. They have a little bit of money in their pocket. They if you coach them too hard, maybe there's a transfer. Is soft is a word that I think a lot of your generation throws at the younger generation. Is it tough enough for these kids?
I think that each person is built different. Each kid is built different. You still have some that want to be coached hard. Yeah, you're going to always have somebody that's going to challenge you. I would say this for me, I'm not compromising. Like, I don't really care. So, my thing is that I'm going to try to squeeze everything I can out of you, try to help you be a good player. Because if you're content with doing this, like, man, it's I always say this. I can't continue to be thankful enough for what that basketball has done for me and my family. The places that it's taken me, the money that I was able to make, the people that I came into contact, and where I'm at right now. And if you're not going to take this serious based on some of the stuff that's going on right now, I would never say it's easier to make it, because I don't think it's easier to make it. I actually think it's harder to make it. But what I say is that there's a lack of attention to detail to making it. And that means putting in the work. Because people forgetting that you got to put in work to get there. They try to skip steps. And so they make a mixtape, or they make this highlight tape, and they want people to focus on 2 minutes, when I want to focus on what they look like in practice. I want to focus on a body of work that I see. I need to know a kid. I need to know who that kid is, at his best and at his worst, because I need to know what that looks like. So I just think that, like, that basketball can change your life if you do it the right way. So why wouldn't you just do it the right way? Why wouldn't you want to be coached? Why wouldn't you want to be motivated? Why wouldn't you want to be told the truth? The real ones still want that.
Damon Stoudamire, Georgia Tech head basketball coach. That's the voice you hear. Do you ever get pushback on that? Like the horror stories are, the college coaches getting a call from mom or dad on, oh, why are you treating my son that way? Obviously you have the bona fides to back it up. You've seen the hard work pay off for guys and yourself, but do you ever get maybe the next generation who maybe doesn't know who you were when you were a player and pushes back a little bit?
Well, first thing I never do is I never even talk about what I did unless they bring it up. But
that's good self-control right there, because there would be a few times I'd be like, you got to know what you're working with. You got to. But what I realize again is that, if you're doing it the right way, there's still people that want to be coached, and there's always going to be people that don't like it and might want to leave anyway. And I'm all right with that. Most of the people that have left, that I've coached, just in general, because I've been in other places as well. And I'm not looking to get this, but it's happened. I've had some of those same players call me and be like, man, Coach Fowler just listened to you. Because sometimes you need to go hear something else to know that you were being told the truth, because a lot of times, even as adults, sometimes we run from the truth. We don't want to hear the truth. For sure.
So imagine an 18, 19, 20-year-old kid. They don't always want to hear the truth. So it isn't easy with everything that's going on now. And, you really got to be vested into nurturing a relationship so you can get past the things that will allow you to coach a kid.
Well, along those lines, I was looking at your roster today. Outside of Lance Terry, who was actually hurt for a decent amount of time last year, I think most of the contributing rosters, the guys we expect to be playing a lot for you this year, are completely turned over from the time that you took over the program. Does it feel like you have a program full of Damon Stoudamire hand-picked players now that's ready to build in that image?
Well, what I would say is we have a team of guys that just want to be there. I think that's the biggest thing. I think any coach will tell you it doesn't matter, if you took over if you want to be there, you're going to make it work. You're going to work your butt off. You're going to pay attention to detail. You're going to allow yourself to be pushed. You're going to be vulnerable in the environment to work on your weaknesses and not just your strengths. So, I think that I have guys that just want to be there, and that's the most important thing. That's where you start.
Looking at your schedule from last year, the highs were really, really high.
Yeah.
Getting Duke when they were 7th ranked, Mississippi State, who was top 25, UNC when they were 3rd. You won all of those games. Then there were some stretches where the wins were a little bit harder to come by. How do you keep the highs with maybe mitigating some of those lows?
You know what? It's like I say, we were consistently inconsistent. We showed a lot of flashes of brilliance, but the crazy thing about it is it's just a mentality. We have to be able to recover faster. When we take a hit, we got to be able to recover. We got to be able to slow that hit. We got to beat things down, and I think that's where we got to get better mentally.
We're getting the kind of wrap it up sign, but I do want to say, pass along our thoughts to Ryan Mutombo.
Yeah.
Obviously his father, legend in multiple levels of basketball, Dikembe Mutombo, just passed away. What do you learn about your program when somebody faces a situation that tough with Dikembe being just 58 years old and Ryan being one of his sons?
Well, you learn a lot. I would say this: Ryan is a special kid. In the time I've been around Ryan, he's a pleaser. He's a gentle giant. He's very smart. He's articulate. He knows a lot. And, the guys have rallied around him. Today, we found out, obviously, a bunch of the guys, Ryan wasn't at practice that day, obviously, but a lot of guys, were sad and, reaching out to him. And, that's big. But I just think that, everybody in the program has tried to rally around Ryan and just be there for support.
I know you said you don't like to talk about your accolades. Did it give you a chance to let everybody know who Ryan's dad was in the post and blocking shots?
Yeah, I haven't said that. I don't know. I really, that's a good question. I don't know if they actually know how good Dikembe was. I played against Dikembe for years and years and years, and when he cut his teeth in Denver, man, you could barely see the rim. Dikembe and Irvin Johnson and Antonio McDyess. They had some really big teams. LaFonso Ellis, Brian Stitt, they're really big. So, he was amazing. He was even a better man off the floor than he was a basketball player. So the philanthropist efforts that he made and, the contributions that he made not only in his hometown of Congo, but just in the United States. I mean, there hasn't been too many athletes like him.
Coach, we appreciate you for stopping by the show and good luck this season.
All right, thank you.
Once again, that's Damon Stoudamire, head coach of Georgia Tech and legendary player in his own right, Arizona and in the NBA. We are live at ACC Tipoff here in Charlotte, but that does not mean the ladder challenge slows down for anybody. It is day number 2. We hit on our bet yesterday. Marchand got multiple shots on goal. We only needed him to get one.
That's right, Brad Marchand of the Boston Bruins. That's right. For the one time, we actually got a chance to root for Boston Bruins.
Which means we should have about $11 to roll over.
$11.11.
$11.11 to roll over to another roughly minus 1,000 bet today. We're trying to hit one a day for 26 consecutive days, which will give us a couple $100. Dennis, what is the options? What's the menu for me to choose from today?
Okay, give you a mix of both hockey and baseball here, Tim.
Okay.
All right, so pay attention. The Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Montreal Canadiens today. Season opener for both those teams. You get an alternate spread. Okay, the Toronto Maple Leafs normally on the spread is a minus 1.5 goals. You can get the alternate at the Maple Leafs at plus 2.5 goals.
Okay.
Against Montreal, that's a minus 10.50.
I like that.
Also, the Colorado Avalanche, their game today against the Vegas Golden Knights. Avalanche under 5.5 goals today at a minus 11.50.
All right.
All right. Also, your Mets play today. Your Mets plus 3.5 runs is a minus 750.
Okay.
And also the Dodgers on the brink of elimination. Dodgers +4. I'm sorry. Yes, Dodgers +4 runs at -1040.
All right, I'm going to talk myself through this quickly.
Okay.
I don't love the hockey bets just for the reason of strange stuff happens on opening games.
Sure.
You don't want somebody knocking off the rust and something like that, kick it into their own goal, and that costs you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love the Mets. I love the Mets, but I don't like the pick simply because they're now up 2-1. So the desperation is going to come from the Phillies side of things, and desperation and cold-blooded and all that. It's motivation. The Dodgers, on the other hand, they are the team that is going to be desperate.
That they are.
They are the team that, if your pitcher shows any signs of distress, you get him out quickly. So I think I'm going to go Dodgers +4.
Okay.
Give me Dodgers +4.
So -1040.
Day number 2 of our ladder challenge here. We're going to try to keep it rolling. After that hits, we'll do it again tomorrow, and we'll roll over the winnings and see if we can keep this train on the tracks.
All
Dodgers +4, day number 2 of our ladder challenge.
Let's lock this in.
Lock it in, and we will lock in a conversation with Michael O'Connell, one of the stars of the NC State run through the ACC championship and all the way to the Final Four last season. He'll be stopping by our table here at ACC Tipoff at the start of the next hour, so expect to hear from the senior guard from the Wolfpack coming up next right here. Don't go anywhere.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every conference that matters. You'll find the best matchups here.
Jordan Moore delivers, and the Blue Devils have the lead.
College football on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford and by Amedios.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union are proud to announce the return of the Coastal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Month. For more than 20 years, we have honored over 200 student athletes that are making a difference on their team and in their community. If you are a teacher, parent, coach, or guardian, nominate your Scholar Athlete today. We will select one winner a month to be featured on 99.9 The Fan and on WRAL News Plus. To nominate a winner, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Congrats to last year's winners. Emma Penkunas of Holly Springs High School, Connor O'Toole of Athens Drive, Kenzie Smith of Fuquay Varina, Patience Ifadon of South Garner High, Carrie Ellen Bryan of Southern Lee, Carson Parker, Apex Friendship, Jason Howard of Wakefield High School, and Eric Stoll of Green Level. We also want to thank all of our other local schools who nominated a student: Apex Friendship, Jordan Matthews, Northwood, Green Hope High, Willow Springs, Jacksonville High, South Granville, Cleveland High, Riverside, and South Johnston.
This is Creighton Blackwell with Coastal Credit Union, and I would like to offer my sincerest thanks to every school that nominated a student for this year's award. This award is more than a celebration of exceptional athletes. It's also a celebration of the schools and the communities that helped them grow into the incredible leaders that we like to celebrate.
Congratulations to all of our Coastal Credit Union Scholar Athletes of the Month. If you want to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Raleigh's injury lawyers.
Bounces away into the end zone. Touchdown!
Visit GotBrian.com.
That's GotBrian.com. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Awfully nice out there. We have settled into a real fall feel, a high of 76 this afternoon. We will see some high, thin clouds starting to stream in from Milton. That storm makes landfall tonight in Florida. Will only send us some clouds. It'll be mostly cloudy tonight, around 50. Some cloud cover lingering tomorrow, with a high of around 70. And a bit breezy, too, with gusts up to 25 miles per hour.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 462 points at 42,543. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Zero Res. Celebrate the spooky season with Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean with Zero Res, starting at just $119, and get a free dryer clean-in with the purchase of an air duct clean-in. Book online at ZeroResRaleigh.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I wonder if that song, that I'm the Man, just plays on loop in Michael O'Connell's head when he watches the UVA shot in the ACC tournament to keep the Wolfpack season alive, which eventually became a run to an ACC championship and a Final Four.
Well, when he gets here, we'll ask him.
Exactly, and maybe we will. But Michael O'Connell and it appears the NC State contingent here at ACC Tipoff in Charlotte, almost said in Raleigh, in Charlotte is so the NC State contingent's running a little late, which actually does kind of lead into the thing I wanted to know about the Wolfpack this season is how do you work to make sure you don't have that Final Four hangover? Being a very highly requested team, being a very hot commodity at ACC Tipoff is part of that, right? Unlike maybe in recent years, State is the belle of the ball coming through ACC Tipoff after becoming one of the national stories, especially at the end of the year last year. Meanwhile, and I won't say what team, but I will say it's one of the new teams. They're walking around saying, "Hey, we have open interview time. Can you get us on?"
Yeah.
That's the two ends of the spectrum, right? NC State, everybody wants to talk to them. They're going to be a little late. Some of these other teams, hey, anybody with a microphone want to talk to me? You don't even have to record. I just want to talk. It's two different beasts. So as NC State makes their way down here, we're expecting to talk to Michael O'Connell, senior point guard, head coach Kevin Keatts, as well as Jayden Taylor, the returning leading scorer for NC State. So we'll bring you those as they happen. A little bit of interesting news in the NCAA sports world. This is where I swear I should have continued going to law school, but instead I just never applied for anything that would have gotten me remotely near law school.
That's fair.
The NCAA Division I Council has approved the immediate elimination of letters of intent.
Oh, okay.
National letters of intent, that entire deal, which started in 1964, donezo. And they're being replaced with a new financial aid agreement that I just read an article on it. Sounds like it does the exact same things that a letter of intent does.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I can come up with where this would make sense or be a necessity is if it were setting up some kind of like contract situation when schools can pay players. And the NLI, the National Letters of Intent, didn't do that. But it is looking like contracts are coming our way at some point in time in college sports. But the letter of intent, does this mean we're not going to have signing days?
I guess.
Or are you going to sign just as something else?
I mean, I guess, I don't know. That's an interesting thing.
It used to be you would fax in your letter of intent.
Literally
at
fax it.
7. Well, you still have to fax them.
You still do, yeah.
But it used to be you'd fax them in at like 7 a.m. and then you'd have your signing ceremony at school at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you would literally just sign like a blank sheet of paper because just they need something for the picture. And you had already made it official at 7 a.m. because you wanted to lock in your spot, unless you were, a giant recruit. But it looks like
no more hats on tables? Are we going to have no more hats on tables? That's what I want to know. I want hats on tables, Tim.
I was always jealous of those guys when I was being recruited. So now I hate the hats on tables.
Oh, really?
Because I was a walk-on, so I didn't have anything to sign. I just had a text to the coach like, "Hey, see you in training camp." So I hated all of those. And like if you just did the hats, if you had 3 hats and all right, my pick is, and you picked one, fine. But if you picked one, put it on your head, threw it, picked up the other, put it on your head, threw it, picked up the other, put it on your head, stood up, unzipped your hoodie, different team on the inside of your shirt. That was, I don't know why it shouldn't, right? You're living a dream, have fun. But for me, it was always the worst. So I'm anti letter of intent signing ceremonies, but that's mostly just a bitter old, petty grudge holding former athlete.
I never got to do that because I was Division III. You didn't have letter of intent.
Walk on.
So it was kind of the similar type thing. We just decided to
just say,
see ya. Going over here.
It does look like Michael O'Connell is in the building. Senior guard and NC State's returning assist leader from last year's Final Four and ACC championship team. Joining us now, throwing the headset on. We're running in live straight into the interview. So, Michael, thank you very much for taking the time. I'll ask with the little delay there. Everybody wants to talk to you this year after the Final Four run. You're just the most popular guy around here.
I don't know about the most popular, but we've definitely had some people wanting to do little interviews to talk tos with like JT and I. So it's definitely been a busy day.
One of the things I'm curious about with your team this year is the idea of the Final Four hangover, the championship hangover. You guys had so much success at the end of the year last year, and rightfully so. The celebrations and the accolades were all there. But how do you combat maybe the complacency or the expectation that, it's just going to happen again, and maybe you don't put in the work?
Yeah, I think one thing that's going to just inherently happen is we have a new team, right? So a lot of the guys that are here this year weren't a part of the team last year. They didn't experience it. So I think there's that hunger from them because they know what we were able to do and what we were capable of, especially with the guys returning, and they want to experience that. So I think just the drive the new guys have coming in, plus the guys that are turning want to get back to that. That's obviously one of the best feelings when you win an AC championship and make it to a Final Four. We all just want to just do it again, and for the returners and for new guys just experience it for the first time. So I think that's one of the biggest drivers, just the hunger to, have that feeling and experience that emotion.
We're talking with Michael O'Connell, senior guard for NC State. How often do people bring up the shot against UVA?
Pretty often. I would say if I'm, in the grocery store or walking around, and people, come up pretty often now to take photos and bring up the shot or different moments throughout the season. So it's been a pretty cool experience, just knowing I've had an impact on, the fans, the community.
I haven't gotten tired of it yet?
No, it's tough when it gets tired of it. I'll definitely enjoy that one for a while.
Can we, assuming there's another celebration-worthy shot, can we work on the celebration a little bit for this year? The light flex, It seemed like a little. Your teammates were going.
Yep.
Have we watched the film on that?
I've seen it. I've had a lot of different perspectives and people weighing in, but honestly, that's just how I naturally react in the moment. So I'll rock with it. I've never been like a flashy over the top of guy with celebrations and stuff like that. So I feel like that that captured almost like who I am in just a little pose when I was super excited for the moment.
Last year we were sitting here at ACC Tipoff, sitting across from DJ Burns. This year we have Michael O'Connell. Are you ready to step into the large shoes of face of the program or mouthpiece of the program and representing your school and your team?
Yeah, I mean, it's a position you want to be in. It's something you work for your whole life, is to be an important piece of a team, and just try to lead the team and win games. I think, especially being here with JT, it's been pretty cool. We're both the older guys in the teams, and I think we do a pretty good job of representing who we are as a program and as a team. And I think that's going to be a big thing for us this year, is to make sure we stay the course and keep it going from last year. Make sure our culture is set, and make sure who we are as a team and program, we're constantly showing that.
We were also talking last year with Casey Morsell, and one of the things he highlighted at the beginning of the year was he felt it was his role to make sure there wasn't the old guys and the new guys, because really college basketball, but state especially, has really embraced transfer portal.
Yep.
If you need something, go get it. Who's taking on that role this year? Who's the connector between the guys that were a part of that run and the guys that don't know what that's like?
Yeah, I would say it's been like a team effort, honestly, with all the returners. I think every guy, especially from like JT and I, just making sure we're always doing team activities, hanging out with the guys, whether it's just grabbing food, playing video games, hanging out in the common area at the gym, getting shots up, playing pickup. It's just making sure we're all constantly around each other and just becoming more comfortable. I think different guys have done in different aspects have been better than others. Obviously, it's just where they're naturally comfortable, but I think all the returners have been pretty open to the new guys and doing a pretty good job.
What's the video game of choice and who's the best?
I would say college football right now
is
definitely the biggest game for everyone, and they'll argue back and forth about it every day about who's the best. But I'll say Mike James, transfer from Louisville, has been, he's been a dominant player so far throughout the little league they got going. So I would say he's the best right now.
It's funny you bring up another transfer from in the conference. You're now a transfer from in the conference.
Yeah.
You've played for. It's Stanford, obviously, previously. Now you're at NC State. Do you have February 8th circled where you're going back to Palo Alto?
I wouldn't say circled, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's definitely going to be a great experience to get back out there and, play one last game. So I'm excited for it. It's definitely going to be a little weird, playing against, Stanford and, seeing the uniforms out there and I'm not wearing it while playing in that gym for sure. But it's definitely something that will, as it gets closer, I'll definitely get excited for.
Last one here before we let you go. I just learned, a big lacrosse guy over here. You were our producer, Dennis Cox. You were a 4-star lacrosse recruit committed to Maryland.
Yeah.
I guess we'll put the video game question, but more hypothetical. Who on the team would be best with a lacrosse stick in their hand, other than yourself?
Besides
yes.
me. Oh, that's a tough. That's a tough question. I would say Jordan Snell. I would say he's pretty good at picking up different things. So I would say he might be pretty better at lacrosse than some of the other guys. I don't know how great he is.
Are they going to argue about that? Like
probably
the same way they would the video games. All right, cool.
But I would say he'd be pretty good at lacrosse.
Mike, we appreciate you for stopping by the show. Good luck this season.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate
cool. Actually, we have maybe another minute here because your coach is up next. Give me something to ask Coach. Give me something on the inside that's going to maybe catch him off guard. Something that he wouldn't let the outside public see, but you being the senior guard, he trusts you. He lets his guard down.
I'm trying to think of something. Funny. I would just say I heard you're not very good at ping pong.
Okay.
Yeah. Just say I heard you're not very good at ping pong.
All right.
I think that will get a reaction out of him or a little take him back.
Is he good?
He's very good. He's the best person in the program by far.
Really?
Yeah, by far. No, I think since I've been here, I don't think anyone's beaten him. So, but I would just
have many tried, or is it?
It
like
players,
he beats you once and never plays you again?
No, on there, players, managers, whoever, he'll play in ping pong, and not many people have beaten him. So
all right.
I would say I heard you're not very good at that, and see where that takes you.
Cool. Thank you very much for the insight. Yeah. Once again, that's Michael O'Connell, returning assist leader for NC State from last year's Final Four and ACC championship team. They'll be hanging double banners for their first home game, both the ACC championship and the Final Four banner. And Michael O'Connell and the squad are going to be looking to add to it. I have to admit, did not have that on my my scouting report for Kevin Keatts.
That wasn't on the bingo card?
That he is that dude when it comes to ping pong. So we are looking to get Kevin Keatts over here next, and we may have to lead with some ping pong conversations as we are live from ACC Tipoff. I'll just give you a little behind the curtain thing here. We are expecting Kevin Keatts, head coach, NC State, to stop by our table here momentarily, and we still expect to hear from Jayden Taylor, the leading returning scorer. So in this little section here, head coach, leading assist man, leading point scorer for the defending ACC champion and reigning Final Four team. So we're getting all the insight to NC State. If you missed anything from earlier today, Jon Scheyer conversation, Damon Stoudamire, they should be up on our YouTube page. And still to come, we have the Duke players, Caleb Foster and Tyrese Proctor, as well as the former Duke player, Jaylen Blakes, transfer from Duke to Stanford.
All these transfers.
It is hard to keep track of.
It really is.
There's 2 players on state from Louisville. There's Michael O'Connell from Stanford on state. There's Jaylen Blakes from Duke on Stanford.
There's Boopy Miller at SMU
from Wake. There's it makes sense though, because
UVA's got a bunch of transfers.
It makes sense because if you pick a school out of high school, it's probably one of the reasons might be regional, one of the reasons might be close to home.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're transferring, those are still probably your priorities. So it makes sense to have the ACC teams be in the running there for your next location, for the same reasons that the school you originally went to was in the running for your first location. I'm seeing movement taking place here at ACC Tipoff in Charlotte, and that means Coach Kevin Keatts is making his way on over to our table.
We haven't talked to him since the Canes Cup run.
We haven't talked to him since the Canes Cup run. Coach is in a good mood joining us here, and for good reason. This is the defending ACC champion head coach at the ensuing ACC Tipoff. So, the smile is well earned. Coach, I'm going to start maybe something you haven't been asked yet today.
Yeah.
I heard you weren't very good at ping pong.
I'm the best.
And it's like that, huh?
Yeah, I spent 12 years at Hargrave. And if you ever been to Hargrave, it's in Chatham, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know, there's not a lot to do in Chatham, Virginia. And so I spent a lot of time in the basement. I'm very picky about who I play. You have to beat somebody good before I play you. And it gives me a chance to get a scouting report on you. I know how to look
you
at
got to watch them in AAA before you call them up to the majors.
Watch them. That's right.
The scouting, your brain just never turns off the scouting, right? Everything's watching film.
You cannot.
How different will the team look? Not jumping to the basketball. How different will the team look this year? Because you've made a nice little habit over the last few years of turning over the roster with some transfer portal stuff, bringing in guys, and this year is no different, even with the success of last year.
Yeah, we have to find our identity. And we lost DJ Burns, who I will never coach again. Nobody in college basketball will coach a guy just like him. We lost DJ Horn, who obviously could really score the ball. We lost Casey Morsell, who had a really good year for us, defensively did some things. We lost Mo Diarra, who was obviously the ACC all-time ACC tournament all-time rebounder. That being said, we got 3 guys back, and Michael, JT, and Ben, who played a lot of minutes. You add Breon and Dennis Parker, who played early. We got 5 guys back, but we've got 8 dudes who are still trying to figure out what NC State's about. I've asked Michael and them to teach the culture and let me teach the system. The culture is show them how to work, show them how to play hard, and then I'll teach them how to play basketball in our system.
You bring up the DJ Burns, he's just a presence here. And I remember talking about it last year at ACC Tipoff. When he walked in the room, everybody just kind of stopped and turned, and you gave him your attention. What's harder to replace, the basketball, because he was a unique player on the court, or the presence that was the unique player just in your program and person in the room?
It's equally both, but if you said pick one, you had to pick one. It's the basketball player.
Okay.
I mean, because he became he could pass the ball. If you didn't double him, you're crazy because he was going to score. If you doubled him, you're crazy because he's going to find the right guy. And then what happens is guys started making plays away from the basketball and making shots and everything else. He was as a unique a player that we may have seen. And college basketball just happened to have 2 of them, him and Zach Edey. They were completely different, but they both were unique. But we will never see those 2 guys moving forward in college basketball.
It's like the Godzilla versus King Kong movies, right? They're just it's the poster was made for it.
Yeah.
We're talking with Kevin Keatts, head coach, NC State men's basketball, coming off an ACC championship and Final Four appearance. Coach, the last year we sat here and we talked about DJ Horn, MJ Rice, all these new faces. And you talked about finding an identity, and it almost had, like, at the last possible second, it all clicked together, and you went on that magical run. Is there anything you can pull from last year specifically to maybe not wait until you're down 12 in the ACC tournament to Louisville to get everything into alignment?
Well, if you look back at last year's team, we lost 7 games by 5 points or less. And we started off so great, 5-1 in the conference. Then you get to the heart of the schedule. I hated the schedule at the beginning of the year when I looked out there and saw 3 of the Final 4 basically on the road. We may be the only team in the history of basketball that played Carolina and Duke on a Saturday, Monday. And so I knew it was going to be a tough ending. That being said, I knew if we cleaned up our mistakes, we had a chance. And when you look at the guys that we beat in the ACC tournament, the only team that we had beaten is Louisville. I knew that was going to be a tough game. No DJ Horn. The first game is always tough. Can you get past the first game? But then we were on our comeback tour. All right, Syracuse had beat us. They talk trash to us every time they beat us.
And they did in that game also. We were in that room.
They did. You look at Duke, they had ruined our senior night. We didn't have a chance for senior night. Virginia, I think we split with those guys, but we went in overtime. Okay, and then Carolina was Carolina. You make it to the championship game, you make it to the championship. There's no extra motivation, but we did have that motivation of Armando Baycock saying the ACC runs through us. And so you got all locker room material that we talked about. When we got on that plane to go to D.C., we were like, hey, we're going to win this thing. But nobody believes that we're going to win it, and here's how we're going to do it. We're going to do one game at a time. We're going to stop beating ourselves. We're going to stack wins, and this is how we're going to do it. And I give credit to the guys in the locker room. They locked in, and they did everything we asked them to do.
And you went on and did it, and thus, this offseason was what it was. As you were walking up, Dennis just said, we haven't talked to you since we were outside the Hurricanes game. You were getting ready to sound the siren. And in that conversation, I asked you, I was like, oh, recruiting has to be, you walk in with so much more buzz now. And one of your comments was, it's so much about NIL now. Yeah. So it's almost like there's that one more step. Used to be, you have a great season, you win, make it to the Final Four. You go to the recruits and you say, look, we made it to the Final Four. Now you have to take that Final Four, go fundraise off of making the Final Four, then take that money to the players, or take that money to the collectives, to the players, whatever the official passing of hands is. Was it easier to ask for money this year? Was it easier to raise?
Well, the valid point to it is when you go to the Final Four, it can't hurt recruiting. So I want to make sure I clear that up. But it's tough because you're almost starting over every year. And money is an issue for everybody, not just us.
Oh, yeah.
Because the biggest thing is folks are trying to figure out, the value of NIL. Do I want to give? Do I not want to give? Can it affect your team? And I would say absolutely it does. What we've had to do is, we've had to, just let our work speak for itself. Hopefully you see that if we do get the right players here, what we're capable of. And we've kind of looked at it in that way.
I don't know if you saw this. One of 24 active coaches to have led your team to the Final Four. Obviously, that fraternity gets smaller when you include an ACC championship. When you get to hang those double banners, I'm calling it a double banner night, and you get to put up both of those, what is that going to mean to you as a coach and as a coach of NC State?
I got that from Jim Larinaga. We went to the Final Four. He sent me a text and said, hey, welcome to the club. I was like, what club are you talking about? He said, well, you're one of 24 active head coaches. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Just think about that. Hanging those banners, man, makes me proud. It is for everyone. This is a fan base that has been starving for something major to happen in football, baseball, and men's basketball. And to be able to deliver something like that, I've got folks who come up to me and tell me about their grandparents and what they got a chance to experience in 74 and 83, which is tremendous. And I've got grown men crying. The students are loaded up because they like exactly what's going on. Our alumni, our former players, this current team that people gave up on, wrote them off, and to be able to deliver in a way you were thinking now that it was going to be 38 years or whatever, and all of a sudden the team that had lost 4 in a row at the end, number 10 seed, goes on to number 1, win the ACC championship and take you to the Final Four. Man, it's so special, and who you beat along the way, it's really, really unique.
Just as you guys circled games, You realize you're the circled game quite a few times this year, where you're going to be getting everybody's best shot because you ended their seasons.
Well, I mean, that's what it is. We've circled a bunch in our past too, and so hey, if that's what it takes, I'd love to be that circle team if we have to have that.
We were just talking with Michael O'Connell about staving off that Final Four hangover, and one of the things he said was, well, everybody wasn't there, right? We have some new guys who maybe do we not know yet. We know JT, we know O'Connell. We're going to talk to them both here today, but who do we not know that we will pretty quickly here in this season?
Well, we're unique. I think we have a bunch of 10, 12 points a game guys. We didn't know going into the season last year that DJ Horn was going to be DJ Horn. We've lost our
nice surprise.
Yeah, we've lost our starting our leading scorer for pretty much every year that I've been here. But what we're trying to do is try to figure out, all right, now who can step up, who can be that guy, and we don't know that yet, and that's a good thing. I caution people to say just because we won the ACC and went to the Final Four, that doesn't make it an automatic. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. We've got 8 new guys, and I need guys like JT. I need guys like Michael. I need guys like Ben Middlebrooks to step up and teach our culture to get us where we need to be to put us in that position to compete for that again.
As you were answering, Jayden Taylor actually sat down next to you, put on a headset. So, Jayden, we'll kind of take the next step there. How are you passing along the culture that coach wants to set to the new freshmen and the new transfers?
Yeah, I say just leading by example, being a guy that's being more vocal, coming in every day and not just talking about it, kind of doing it and putting myself in their shoes and listening to them, just connecting and building a relationship now.
In the ways you can say in front of coach here, I was on your Instagram, and is the Cybertruck yours? Is it,
oh no, that's not mine. Nah, it was just ready.
I was gonna say there was a lot of pictures. There was a lot of stuff there.
Let me turn around and look at him.
No, that's not mine. It was just rented.
Because I want to know what life is like for the returning leading scorer on a Final Four team.
I got to get you to report to me on everybody's Instagram. I ain't been following them enough to know what these guys are doing.
Yeah, no, that was a little birthday thing.
As soon as I start doing that, they're going to start deleting posts. It's going to be a lot less out there.
Yeah.
But it looked like a fun offseason for you.
Yeah,
Obviously,
for sure.
Coach, a lot of workout videos, a lot in the gym. So let me report back on the good stuff, too.
Hey, I don't worry about that. He works, and he puts the right stuff on Instagram and everything else. But this is one of our hardest workers that we have. And he's been there. He's been that way from day one. He loves the gym. He lives in the gym.
So what have you added to your game? What's the next step?
Yeah, I want to just be a more consistent shooter. Just believing in my shot more, playing off my shot. I feel like that will just take care of itself for things for me, honestly.
Last one here for you, and thank you both for your time. Last year, jersey number 1. I saw this year. There's 8 ball is the hashtag.
That's all I love.
Jersey number 8. Why the change?
Yeah, so my grandfather had like a pool table in his house, and like that's one thing me and my family always play. And like the 8 ball is just the last ball to go in the hole when you win. So like my senior year, last ball, I went with 8. You know.
Coach, we like that one.
Yeah.
We from ping pong to pool, we got all the table games.
When he said he wanted 8, I said it's available. You can have 8, but I never knew that. That's a good story.
Take one of these freshman shooters, turn them into darts, and we got like the whole game. Both of you, thank you very much for stopping by. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
Once again, that is the head coach of NC State in Kevin Keatts and Jayden Taylor, their returning leading scorer. As they get ready to head into the season and defend their ACC championship. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Caleb Foster, not only a North Carolina native, but a sophomore guard for Duke. Before we get there, though, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. I know we're always talking about being prepared, getting ready. All the people we're talking to here, they're all getting ready, getting prepared. And I want to make sure that you are prepared anytime you get on the motorcycle, because we all know that accidents can possibly happen before you get on the bike. Because, folks, it's riding season. Have you been outside lately? It's gorgeous outside. More people are going to be on the motorcycles in the coming weeks than you've seen in recent months. Be prepared. Make sure that your bike's in proper working order. Make sure it's serviced properly, just like your car. Make sure you service it properly. Make sure you take care of it. Make sure you clean the bike properly as well, and your bike will take care of you. Unfortunately, accidents do happen, and this is where Law Tigers comes in. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Before you call your insurance company if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, insurance companies want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They know what your bike is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Caleb Foster, Duke sophomore guard, expecting to join us here on ACC Tip-Off next. Don't go anywhere.
Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Oh, yeah.
Wow. Martin pulling Barkov away. You know, Pyotr Kochetkov's not afraid to mix it up.
Vinny Veazey knocking Natchez to the ice. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Veazey and Kotkaniemi.
Chance for the Rangers coming in. Anderson makes a save, and it's kept out by Martin. What a save! Martin just robbed Lindgren.
The season kicks off October 11th on your official home of the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan.
We want to invite you to Atlantic Spas and Billiards to bring more relaxation, wellness, and fun to your home. Sit in a hot tub from Hot Spring or Caldera, relax in a hot sauna from Finleo, or swim in our showroom in our endless pool. We have a fully stocked game room showroom with darts, ping pong, foosball, air hockey, pool tables, and more. Everything we sell for your home, from hot tubs to grills, from saunas to pool tables, promotes relaxation, wellness, and fun. Atlantic Spas and Billiards on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh and Market Street in Wilmington, AtlanticSBNC.com.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. It's getting cold. Your heating bills are on the rise, and your house's old and damaged windows are letting all of that heat and your money go right out the window. Good thing there's Window Nation. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Plus, pay nothing for 24 months. You'll love your windows like Albert, who says great value, great product, and great customer service. Hurry, sale ends October 31st, so schedule a fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or at windownation.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Homeowners, listen up. The Fed has taken action, lowering rates for the first time in years, and Loan Pronto has followed suit by lowering mortgage rates big time. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. That means this is the best chance in 2 years to do a cash-out refi and unlock all that equity at an amazing rate. Loan Pronto has fixed loans under 5% APR, the lowest in 2 years. You can get a fast refi and get $50, $75, even $100,000 in cash. Use it to pay off all your credit cards, personal loans, car loans. You'll end up with one payment each month, and for most homeowners, they save over $850 every month. And if you want to keep your original mortgage intact, ask about the Loan Pronto Express Equity Line of Credit. If you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Get your rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 919-381-1760 or loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We are live from ACC Tipoff in Charlotte. And joining us at our table here at ACC Tipoff, Caleb Foster, Harrisburg, North Carolina native.
Yes, sir.
And a sophomore guard for the Duke Blue Devils men's basketball team. First of all, I'm starting to put some things together. I was poking around on your social media, I saw your old teammate Sean Stewart commented D-Book cosplay on some of your pictures. Then I just saw upstairs they have the 2K set up. You were playing with the Suns. Are you patterning your game off of maybe Devin Booker a little bit?
Yeah, he's my favorite player.
And how long has that gone in, and what do you try to take out of his game?
I mean, it's on there for quite a few years. I mean, he's a dog on the court. His shooting ability, his ability to create off the dribble, mid range, while also, he transitioned to point guard last year, and he was also able to get his teammates involved.
So, is that a hint that maybe you're transitioning to point guard, maybe following in his steps?
Nah, I've been a point guard, but yeah, for sure.
Maybe looking to up the assist totals a little bit. We're talking with Caleb Foster here. One of the things, again, like I said, I was poking around on your social media, is the Duke basketball world lets us in like just enough to what's going on at like around your facility during the off season. Like, this famous guy comes in, and you just enough that we're all intrigued. Give us the most star-studded like open gym you had, or some of the guys that you were able to work out with that would impress like your casual basketball fan.
I mean, on my visit, I played. It was a year Paulo. It was Paulo's freshman year. I came in with me and another recruit, and we had some walk-ons, and we played pretty much the rest of the team. And he carried us to win. While also, hitting me, and I hit a couple shots, and the other guy hit a couple shots. And we ended up beating the team a couple times. I'm not gonna tell you who was on the other team. I'll say that.
That's what we're looking for.
That, and then last year, Tatum actually came and played with us, pick up for like 2 hours, and it was really unbelievable. You really get to see how good he is. He's just killing. Nobody can guard him.
That's funny because again, you guys playing 2K upstairs. The other team was the Celtics, so it's all starting to come together. Looking at this lineup, looking at this rotation, and we're talking with Caleb Foster, sophomore guard for Duke. In your life, have you ever been the shortest guy in a rotation?
No, sir. And I still don't think I'm the shortest guy, but they put me at that. Yeah, they got me listed as the shortest guy.
I'm just going by what they tell me.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, our size and our length, and I think we can use that to our advantage on the defensive end. If we just keep building on our habits, and everybody knows where they need to be. I mean, I think that our team defensively, the sky's the limit.
Your transition from last year to this year individually is an interesting one, because you did have the ankle injury, which forced you to watch the run to the Elite Eight.
Yep.
What did you learn, or what can you pick up from a situation I'm sure you're not used to, which is not being involved in games and being able to sit back and kind of observe from a distance?
Yeah, it's definitely tough not being able to play, but I mean, what I picked up from my perspective on the sideline is the attention to detail. Just a little slight, just littlest thing could win and lose a game. As simple as a box out, not getting a rebound, stuff like that. It's the difference between winning and losing games. So that's the thing I'm trying to bring to this team this year, is just to tell the young guys, and the new guys already know the attention to detail in college basketball. It goes way farther than you would ever expect.
The earlier today we talked with your coach Jon Scheyer, and I asked him, I don't know if you've heard this story. Jon Scheyer, when he was in high school, said, I'm not going to leave the gym till I make 50 free throws in a row. Made 49, missed the last one. His coach and his dad were like, that's good enough, let's leave. He said no, and he stayed and he made the 50 free throws. So I said to Coach Scheyer, who on this team is most likely to have that story be about them, right? Who's the gym rat? And part of his answer was, well, I'll tell you who's made the most shots this offseason, and it was you.
Yeah.
So why are you outworking even your teammates as far as getting the most shots up? And that's according to your coach.
I mean, it's something that's based on how I was raised. I mean, I come from a hardworking background. My dad, man, he was a police officer for 30 years. Then he had a lawn care business that he would do. So he would work pretty much all day patrolling, and then he would come out and he would find time to get me in the gym. And similar to Coach Scheyer's story of shooting 50 free throws in a row, my dad has made me do that. We started off at 10 free throws, and I used to be in the gym in a row, bawling, crying because I couldn't get it. And it just built on from that, man. I mean, that's just somehow I was raised.
How much is it up to now? It can't just be 10 now.
It's about like
As we lost connection there just a little bit with Tim Donnelly and Dennis in Charlotte, Duke guard. Caleb Foster joined them as we try to get reconnected with them shortly. Interesting day so far at ACC Tipoff, just with again NC State sort of being the ball in the room this season. It seems like all eyes are on them. Everybody wants to talk with them, and then Duke, of course, made it to an Elite Eight, but NC State right now the crown of the ball right now for ACC Tipoff. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to try to get reconnected with Tim Donnelly and Caleb Foster from ACC Tipoff coming up on the drive.
Move your sports day forward.
Be mentally prepared for wherever it is, as Dave Canales said, but ultimately, they gave up 36. And at the end of that game, inside of 5 minutes, frustrations boiled over. That's reminding yourself that, crap, we're right back where we started again in weeks 1 and week 2. Maybe it wasn't all just about the quarterback. Maybe that wasn't the whole play at all.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. NASCAR Playoffs weekend at Martinsville Speedway. November 1st through the 3rd. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
This hour of the drive is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer and learn more. It's hard to stop a train.
The drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I guess we'll apologize quickly for a little technical difficulties. Missed the end of that Caleb Foster conversation before break.
It happens.
Yeah, it's still preseason. Still preseason. However, we are going to divide up the two Duke guards. Caleb Foster, we talked to before the break. Tyrese Proctor, who we are going to talk to in a few minutes.
Right at 5 o'clock.
We're going to divide it up with a former Duke guard. Jaylen Blakes transferred from Duke to Stanford this offseason, and he stopped by our table earlier today. Here's that conversation. The drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan, live from ACC Tipoff in Charlotte. We are now talking with Jaylen Blakes, graduate student guard for Stanford, after spending the early part of his career at Duke in Durham. I guess I'll ask first, what are you telling your teammates about the ACC, right? They're all new to this conference. You've been here for a while.
Yeah, I mean, the ACC is just filled with greatness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in my 3 years there, we've always had an ACC team in the Final Four, which just speaks about how good this conference really is. And, you know, we have guys that have come from a multitude of different conferences on our team. But for me, it's just understanding that every day, every night is going to be a fight, and every game is going to be a battle. So you have to come in with the right mindset, and just you have to give the ACC its respect because it's the best conference in basketball.
I agree with you on that. Do you have, obviously those Final Four teams, you were on one of them. Do you have February 15th circled on your calendar?
I think I have every game circled on my calendar.
All right.
I think that game may have an additional. I have some friends that may I know at that school, but every game is circled. I'm excited for this season. You know, it's my final college basketball season, so every game is one of my last something. So it's going to be fun.
You bring up it's your last season. We're talking with Jaylen Blakes, former Duke guard, now with Stanford as they join the ACC. What were you looking for in the portal? It's your last year. Every day is a last something. How did you choose Stanford as the team that you wanted to spend those lasts with?
Yeah, it was definitely a tough decision. Entering the portal is something, you know, that is new for a lot of people. It was new for me, but you know, this last year I was looking for something that was going to give me everything that I was about, you know, just being surrounded by greatness once again. Being a part of this great conference is something that Stanford offered, but also Coach Smith outlined a vision for this program and outlined a vision for myself implemented in this program. And, you know, I trusted him. I trust what he's doing now, and I'm very glad I made this decision, but, you know, grateful for what Duke has done for me in these past 3 years.
What do you miss most about Durham or the Triangle or something that maybe you can't get out in Cali?
I would say cookout.
Okay.
Cookout is definitely something I miss a lot. You know, I shouldn't be saying that. I'm an athlete, the fast food spots, but cookout for sure. And, you know, maybe at Waffle House a little bit, you know.
They don't have Waffle House in California?
I haven't seen it in Palo Alto, but, you know, it's just I do enjoy In-N-Out, though, in Cali for sure. So it balances out.
Pros and cons. I was looking back at your recruiting class at Duke, and your classmate in that class was A.J. Griffin, who just gave up basketball after being a first-round pick, still had years left on his NBA contract to become a minister. Were you surprised to hear that?
You know, AJ was my roommate, and I'm extremely happy for him. You know, he has a great talent in basketball, but he has a bigger calling. And for a lot of us, you know, we don't really understand that. But, you know, his faith was something that was very important to him. And for him to be able to understand his purpose is bigger than basketball, and he has a bigger purpose in life, it's truly special, and I'm extremely happy for him.
And another name that most people recognize from that class is Paolo Banchero. Or I guess a similar question. Are you surprised by the success he's had at the NBA level?
Not one bit. I mean, from the first moment I was at Duke, we came in the summer early, and you can just tell just his preparation, his work ethic, you know, that he was destined to do great things in the NBA, and I'm just extremely happy for him as well.
And now you're at Stanford, so give us the scouting report on Stanford. As you know, we're getting to know this program as you know, we've always watched them after the ACC games are done. Then Stanford comes on, and you know, you watch it till you fall asleep. You have Raynaud who's walking around with you, a 7-footer. What else are you bringing back with you to the ACC from a team perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. We have a great group of guys who stayed. We call them the Hexagonal, the six guys who stayed. And
that is a very Stanford nickname.
Yeah,
the fact that you are using geometry to nickname a group of players, that is extremely Stanford and on brand.
Yeah, so we got the Hexagonal, but then we also have a group of 9 guys, you know, believe 5 transfers and 4 freshmen who are all eager and have a chip on our shoulder. And I think Coach Smith has done a great job of, you know, implementing a family aspect where we've built chemistry really quickly. And I think in terms of the skill sets that we all bring, I think we are a group that can shoot the ball really well, extremely unselfish. And when you're unselfish, you're able to do the little things without worrying about the bigger things. So I think we're all willing to do the little things, and I think we'll shock a lot of people just because of how together we are, our ability to shoot the ball, and our ability to defend.
What's it going to be like when you it may have already happened, when you bump into Tyrese Proctor or Caleb Foster around here?
Yeah, it definitely happened before I came down here, and, you know, it's all good vibes. You know, those are my brothers. You know, I played with them, played with Tyrese for 2 years, Caleb for a year, and we went through a lot of wars together, so it was great seeing them.
Jaylen, was great talking to you. Thank you for stopping by, and good luck this season.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Once again, that's Jaylen Blakes, graduate student guard for Stanford after spending the early years of his career at Duke. And, every year at these ACC tip-offs, Tim Donnelly here, by the way, live in Charlotte, ACC tip-off, joined by Dennis Cox, Graham Hill back at the studio, keeping the show up and running. Every year there's kind of themes, and we had a few at the beginning of the show. One I failed to mention that is becoming more obvious is the inter-conference transferring. For a long time, the transfer portal or pre-portal transferring, coaches would, there's certain players where you shake hands, you go in your opposite directions. You probably weren't going to play here. There's an opportunity for you somewhere else. Great. You worked hard. Good friends. See ya. But then there was almost always a just don't go in conference. Right? Like we'll sign off on everything except you can't play in our conference anymore.
I know a great team and coach on the West Coast for you.
Let me call in my buddy. He's this guy. I'll help you get to somewhere outside of the conference. Without those restrictions anymore, there's a lot of it's like intermingling where, after a breakup, you then have to like keep going to class with your ex where you're going to like keep seeing them. We talked about it earlier. Boopie Miller was walking around with SMU, former Wake. Jaylen Blakes, who we just aired that conversation, former Duke. There's 2 Louisville players on NC State. It's all kind of happening. There's more examples than that. Those are just the ones off the top of my head. And it becomes obvious at a event like this for exactly that last question I asked Jaylen Blakes. Like, what is it going to be like when you bump into those guys? And it's like, well, no, we played together for a few years and now we're playing somewhere else. And it's I'm sure some are more icy than others, some are more cold than others. But I have found myself this ACC tip-off asking if people have circled places on their or circled dates on their calendar a lot more. Michael O'Connell, are you circling the first time you go back to Palo Alto? For someone like Jaylen Blakes, are you circling the time you go back to Duke? It happens across the ACC, and that familiarity and also iciness could play a whole different narrative and a whole different storyline this season.
TJ Power transferred from Duke up to UVA.
TJ Power from
also
Duke to UVA.
Jalen Warley at UVA transferred up from Florida State. So it's just it's all over the place.
It's
all over the place.
Yeah, ACC on ACC transfer portaling is it's going to be a thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's every game is going to be a revenge game. It's hard to and the familiarity. And I know your game, you know my game. I know you know that I know that I know that you know that you like to go left because we practice together. Like all of that is going to be something to watch this season more so than in any season I can remember.
I think it is also cool that the talent is also staying in this league. I think that's also a good thing too. Like these are some key players, some high recruits, but they're also staying in the league too.
Jaylen Blakes and Boopie Miller, I think, are perfect examples. I don't know if they end up at Stanford and SMU if they weren't making that move, knowing those schools were coming to the ACC.
Possibly, yeah.
Right? It's. I think you want to prove some things. If they don't work out in some place, you want to have the opportunity to do it in another place. So something to watch out for. Just one of those things to watch.
I know you and I talked yesterday about the energy when certain people show up. I know we talked about it with ACC football back in July. The energy where we're sitting and just kind of the whole vibe when NC State showed up and then Duke rolled in right after. The energy, you could tell there was something different in the air when these two programs showed up.
Yeah, we're lucky enough to be inside the ropes. They have it like roped off here in the hotel that we're holding this at. The ACC is holding this event at. There are certain teams that when they show up, more people that are outside the ropes maybe just walk into their hotel room or just, this is where they work. Yeah, and there's all of a sudden they're stopping and they're looking and they're what's going on here, and then rubbernecking, and then someone else is going, what are they all looking at? And then suddenly there's a rumble in the room. So it's definitely more so now than it was this morning. With that being said, Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group. Do you know how much you're spending each year on commissions? How about the amount of risk you're taking? How many fees you're paying? If you don't know, you need to know. It's actually funny how many of these conversations we've had today where it comes back to money. Everyone's like, oh, you got to follow the money. You want to make sure you know where your money is going. You don't want to be following your money. You want to be making your money work for you. That's what Capital Financial Advisory Group and Coach Pete will do for you. They'll hook you up with a great income in retirement that you never have to worry about being taken away from you, no matter what happens with the markets or what else could go on, right? Guaranteed is guaranteed, and that's lovely. So go ahead and give them a call at 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215. Let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, here on 99.9 The Fan, and you will not only get hooked up with your complete and totally customized retirement plan, you will also get 7 Baby Steps Coach Pete's box set for free. Just let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, or you can text my name, Tim, to 600-700. Text TIM to 600-700. They'll know what that means. Coming up to start off our starting 5, but really to start off the 5 o'clock hour, we are expecting to be joined by Tyrese Proctor, I guess the kind of the old man in the rotation for Duke this year.
He kind of is.
Third year. He is their leader in assists from last year's Elite 8 team, and he'll be joining us here at ACC Tipoff coming up in the not too distant future. Back after this.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every conference that matters. You'll find the best matchups here.
The Blue Devils up 21-20, and they got their arms reaching for that bell.
College football on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med, Sammy's Tap and Grill, and Roofworks.
It's Trick Out Your Wheels with Sound Station and Security. Our contestants are ruling the streets. Here come the bikes, and the bass is bumping. Sound Station and Security can hook up all your vehicles with amazing custom stereo systems and speakers. Does that golf cart have strobe lights? It sure does. Sound Station has tons of LED lighting options for your bike, ATV, and even golf cart, and we install it all.
If it's got wheels, Sound Station and Security has got you covered. In Raleigh, Smithfield, and myhotsound.com.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I live and work on both coasts, travel the country, and there's nothing better than Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and half-price appetizers, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. Visit all 5 Triangle locations and ask for their great daily beer specials. And how about this special? Every Sunday, they have $6 Bloody Marys and $6.50 Jamesons. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Cheer on Duke football as they face off against the Florida State Seminoles on Friday, October 18th. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. There's only 3 home games left in the regular season. Don't miss your chance to see the Blue Devils at Brooks Field at Wallace Wade Stadium. Add the Devil's Deck in-stadium experience to your ticket and receive exclusive access to the end zone tailgate space with all-you-can-eat food and drink. Tickets are available now at goduke.com/football-tips or by calling 919-681-BLUE. Duke football. Bleed blue.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, North Carolina's injury lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Beautiful day today. A lot of clouds streaming in from Milton. They'll stick around tonight. Mostly cloudy skies with a low around 50. Tomorrow, it's a cooler day and a brighter day. Mostly sunny skies, still comfortable humidity, a high at 70.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones closes the day up 431 points at 42,512. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Zero Res. Celebrate the spooky season with Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean with Zero Res, starting at just $119. And get a free dryer cleaning with the purchase of an air duct cleaning. Book online today at ZeroResRaleigh.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. As we near 5 o'clock and the starting 5, as I said before the break, we're expecting Tyrese Proctor, junior guard and Duke's leader in assists from last year's Elite Eight team, to be joining us here at our table at ACC Tipoff in Charlotte, where today's entire show has been. While we wait for Tyrese to show up, and he is just across the way, shouldn't be long. Reminder that we're here all day tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we are.
And we will be hearing from the Wake Forest contingent, the UNC contingent, including both head coaches, a couple players from each team.
RJ Davis, reigning ACC Player of the Year.
Reigning, the Jerry West Award for best shooting guard in the entire country.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Bennett, the head coach of UVA, will be joining the show. Jeff Capel, who played his college basketball at Duke, is now the head coach at Pitt, longtime assistant for Duke as well. All expected to be on the show tomorrow. So if you've been listening and you're like, man, they're giving a lot of attention to State and Duke, and it's because maybe the team you're looking for is tomorrow.
It's because they're here.
It's because they're here. It's ACC Tipoff, and to be fair, NC State and Duke do give us a few reasons to talk about them, right? Duke brought in one of the top recruiting classes in the country, and NC State won the ACC and made it to the Final Four last year.
Yeah.
So talking with them and about them has been a good time today, and we'll do it all tomorrow with a few different teams.
And Carolina was just in the Final Four a couple years ago,
and
went to the Sweet 16 last year. And like you mentioned, reigning ACC Player of the Year. I mean, it's not lost upon us. And I think for fans that are listening as well, just how lucky we are in terms of college basketball and what we're blessed with in this area.
As somebody that has covered
so awesome.
Professionally, I've covered other ACC basketball teams. I do not take it for granted which ACC basketball teams we get to cover. And that's no disrespect to any others, but the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the results. Stats and numbers don't lie.
It's just reality.
With that being said, there is projection, and looking at a team like Duke, who we're kind of in the middle of talking with a few players involved with Duke, the projection is a big part of why people are excited. You bring in Cooper Flagg, you bring in Kaman Malawash, 2 of the top 3 on a lot of NBA big boards for this upcoming draft.
Yeah.
Then you bring in somebody like the Big Ten 6th Man of the Year, and Phillips, I believe I'm getting that name right.
Sion James coming up from Tulane.
James coming from Tulane, who was built like a truck. There's a lot of reasons to be excited about Duke, but some of them are more magic beans than they are like bar of gold, right? You have to turn them into something rather than have it squarely in your possession already. And with that being said, one of the guys who is more proven for this the Duke basketball team that we were just talking about, junior guard Tyrese Proctor, and Duke's leader in assists from last year's Elite Eight team, throwing on the headset, getting ready to chat. I understand we're your last interview, so appreciate you for fighting the marathon and stopping by. Well, I guess we'll start right there. 3rd year in the program, 2nd year here at ACC Tipoff.
Yes, sir.
Longest tenured guy in the rotation. How does it feel to be the old man of Duke basketball?
I mean, it's different. It's good. I've loved it so far. Just being, the steady ship for everyone and sort of being that backbone, and obviously, being the longest guy here. that's played with Coach Scheyer, and just sharing, my expertise to those younger guys that are coming through. Obviously, great having my backcourt boy Steve Foss with me, but it's different, and I'm just excited for the journey.
As kind of that veteran and the returning captain that's looking to lead, what do you tell the players that this is their first experience with Duke basketball? What do you tell them are the keeper of the culture or whatever, the keys to the brotherhood? What are you passing along?
I feel like a big thing is just you're going to get everyone's championship game. No matter who you're playing. It could be number 1 ranked, whatever, what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter who you're playing. You're going to get number 1 shot from every team. So you got to be on your P's and Q's every night. You got to, it's serious at the end of the day. Like, you got to take your business serious. And, I think we have such a close group that, we all understand that. It's sort of unspoken, even though we have talked about it, but it's just an unspoken sort of feeling. Everyone knows, what the brotherhood and what Duke is. And it's definitely different than other schools. So I think just harping on that and making sure, we're such a close-knit team this year is going to be really important.
We were talking with your running mate. You mentioned Caleb Foster. I saw you guys playing video games upstairs.
Yeah.
You were running with the Celtics.
Yeah.
Then Caleb told a story about getting to play a little pickup with Jayson Tatum. Is that your guy?
Yeah. We played JT. I played him. We played him. It was a minute ago. I think it was last summer.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was a great experience.
What'd you learn?
I mean, we were just playing pickup, so we were just having fun for real.
Okay.
But just the competitive nature it is in the league, and I've obviously spoken to him quite a bit, but just how hard it really is to get there, and what it takes to stay in the league. The consistent work, the daily work, the sacrifices you have to make. But just also having fun with it at the end of the day and just being confident.
We're talking with Tyrese Proctor, junior guard for Duke men's basketball. One thing Tatum has that I don't think many people recognize is he's taller than you think. Like, doesn't look that tall on TV. Yeah. I just walking by you earlier today. Are you taller? Are you still growing? You went from 6'5" to 6'6" in the official listings or the roster. Are you getting bigger?
Someone the other day that hadn't seen me in a minute, he thought I got taller as well. I don't know if I am 6'6". I think I am 6'5", but
okay.
I mean,
hey, why not write 6'6" at the intimidation, right?
I guess. But yeah, I mean, I've had a couple of people ask me that, but I'm not sure.
All right. I was looking at your stats. You improved from freshman to sophomore year and darn near everything. I have some written down here: points, assists, steals, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, 3-point attempts. We could kind of go on. Do you think some of that improvement was overlooked last year? Because from a narrative and storyline standpoint, there was some ups and downs last season for you.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think I'm so hard on myself, and my coaches are hard on me, and my family's hard on me. I think some of that I even overlooked. I didn't even necessarily know all of that just then, but I think just sticking to my work and
more often,
I think just sticking to my work and just trusting the work I put in. Obviously, I know I'm such a better shooter than I have shot the ball the last 2 years, and coming into Duke, I was shooting it great. So I think just getting back to my roots and just putting in the work every day is a big thing that I did this summer. And I think just having an overall complete game is going to be really big for me and our team this year.
As the leading returning assist guy on the team, have you figured out where all these new guys like to catch it? Like where their spots are? Do you know where Flag or Malawash want to get their touches?
Yeah. I mean, I played with Kamen when we was 15, 16 with the academy. So I feel like it's great just playing with him again, just having that lob threat. Me, Coop, Con, Kayla, I mean, we all starting to gel together now. Isaiah, everyone. So, once we played so much basketball this summer, you're starting to get a feel of, where guys, like to catch the ball and where they might, not want the ball. So I think just getting, as my job as a point guard and a leader on the team, just being able to know that and put guys in positions, so they succeed and is best for the team.
Do you haven't the Cooper Flag fame thing, right? He's a lot of people know who he is.
Sure.
As a leader of the team, do you have to do anything because of that? As far as you don't want to say keep him in his place, but as a freshman, making sure that there is a hierarchy or a seniority.
No, for sure. To be honest with you, I haven't even had to. Me and Coop, we be working out every morning together. He's such a humble kid. You wouldn't even know walking down the street that he's, got all this attention and media he has, because he just puts the work in, and he just keeps it pushing. He doesn't, he doesn't do too much. He doesn't say too much. He's such a competitor and competes at such a high level. There's no room for me to just tell him. You know what I'm saying? He already knows that, and I think that's why he's so special. And a 17-year-old to be able to compete the way he does, and on a daily basis play the way he does, I mean, it's just crazy. And I'm grateful to be a part of his journey, and I can't wait to keep playing with him.
And you know something about being 17 in college, because you did the reclassification,
sure.
and we're up here contributing as well. Last one before we let you go. I've been trying to poke around on social medias of the players before we talk to them, see what they have going on. Your Instagram has just one post from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Everything else deleted. Is that a message? Was there something behind that?
Yeah, I sort of wanted to clean. I'm not really on social media like that no more. But I feel like, just trusting my work. I think that I don't need to show too much anymore. I've obviously had NIL deals and stuff like that I've, put out and stuff like that. But I feel like, it's just, this is the season for me. And I feel like, what I put out projects that and shows that, how locked in I really am. And I'm just straight about business this year and just want to win and just prove to myself, not necessarily other people, but just myself, that, I do belong here and I know what it takes to, do what I can do.
I'll tell you what, Duke fans are ready to run through a wall right now. So I appreciate you for stopping by, and congratulations for finishing up your ACC tip-off.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Once again, that's Tyrese Proctor, junior guard, and one of Duke's veteran leaders on their Elite Eight team a season ago, and one of really two returners in the rotation for Duke, along with Caleb Foster, we talked to earlier. That last answer is fascinating.
Oh, yeah. That caught my attention. For sure.
Last season, right? This is how, we talked earlier about how people can change and mature. He's only 20 years old. Just because he's a junior in college, he's a younger one. Last season, I remember we spent part of our time at ACC Tipoff. He was here as a captain of Duke basketball, talking about a jewelry NIL deal that he had, and right, trying to have a little bit of fun. We talked about what kind of like pearl earring maybe Coach Scheyer would be wearing. And it was very NIL heavy, because I had gone to his Instagram and that's what he was posting about. So I wanted to learn more about that world. This year, go to his Instagram. There's one picture.
One thing.
It's him in a Duke uniform, kind of promotional pictures, and everything else is deleted. And he said he's about his business, which is a hilarious little like turn of phrase, right? I'm no longer doing the NIL stuff as much because I'm about business. Basketball is the business.
Basketball's the business.
And the other stuff was the other stuff.
It's interesting, like, you hear that mindset from him. You heard Caleb Foster earlier when we talked to him. He mentioned like dog mentality. And I was just like, these are the two returning guys. If there's two guys you want to have, if you're Coach Scheyer, it's those two, because they set the tone for all the new guys coming in.
And the new guys bring quite a bit of talent. I'm fascinated to see how that Duke team comes together, because of all of the new, but all of the potential. We'll be along for the ride. We'll be along the ride for all of the teams here at ACC Tipoff, and especially all the ones in the Triangle. With that being said, that was number 5 in our starting 5.
It was.
Let's jump to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
What are we, about 48 hours to game 1 of the Carolina Hurricanes on Friday?
50
hours.
50 hours.
That's
on air math.
all we have. I said about. I'm taking it as a win. About 48 hours. Little bits of news coming out. Brendan Lemieux, Pep, as they call him, is going to be, according to Rod Brindamore, out for a little while. That's Rod Brindamore's term, out for a little while. Spoke to the media earlier today. He injured something in the final exhibition game and hasn't been on the ice since. I know Brendan Lemieux might not be the highest paid, the flashiest. There is a loud and loyal contingent of Canes fans that absolutely love Lemieux. I think it's because of the effort he puts out there, the physicality, obviously, not afraid to drop the gloves when he needs to. But he does give this team some edge, and I think that is something even as like if you're the healthy and active on game day, just you being in the locker room can bring that. So that's something that the Canes are going to have to deal with until Lemieux can be back out there with the guys.
And when we heard that, I was like, oh, okay, it makes sense that they brought up Jackson Blake from Chicago, to be on the opening night roster. And Rob Brennamore, this according to Walt Ruff, was asked if Lemieux's injury is the reason Jackson Blake has made the opening night roster. And Rob Brennamore answered, as Walt Ruff said, a definitive, nope, not at all. So I was like, oh, so Jackson Blake was going to be up here whether Lemieux was injured or not. I was like, all right, good to know. By the way, Jackson Blake working with power play number 2 today.
There you go. I'm sure that's also saying a little bit of this, which is if we wanted Jackson Blake up, he'd be up. If we wanted him down, he'd be down. We have other veterans we could have used to replace Brendan Lemieux. Jackson Blake, he's up because we want him up.
Exactly.
Which is a vote of confidence for Jackson Blake, and he should be very, very confident going into the opener.
Good on him, man.
That's number 4. Let's get to number 3. The Panthers' latest. Panthers practiced today. However, Jadeveon Clowney did not. Obviously, Austin Corbett did not. Josie Jewell did not. Taylor Moton did not. Andrew Rain did not. Tommy Trumbull did not. It's an injury discussion for the Panthers as of late. DJ Johnson, edge rusher, limited. Deshaun Robinson, limited with an ankle. Both of them actually limited with ankles. This can be tough.
Yeah.
The defense especially is going to be tough to be effective in the NFL when you didn't have a ton of depth and you're suffering a bunch of injuries.
And they made a bunch of moves today because they signed Cade Mays, offensive lineman, who was a 2022 draft pick. They released him or put him on waivers. He was on the Giants practice squad. They signed him back just because of the offensive line injuries that you mentioned. They also, as a result, they released Mike Boone. They waived Jaden Peavy and safety Russ East. Also released a guy off the practice squad. They promoted Deshaun Williams from the practice squad up. They also signed former Buffalo Bills linebacker Shaq Lawson to the practice squad, probably just to get him in shape and up to speed.
And you can activate him on game day.
You can activate him on game day, just kind of see like, all right, where's your conditioning level and stuff. So there's a lot of guys, there's a lot of roster movement because of all the injuries that are taking place right now. It's a lot. And by the way, Dane Jackson and Ian Thomas off injured reserve, they full practice today, and it looks like trajectory that we might see them this weekend.
And if you need another piece of good news, Xavier Legette practicing in full.
Let's go.
Left the game on Sunday with a shoulder injury.
Let's go.
Him practicing is obviously an indication that there's a good chance he'll be ready to go this weekend. To me, the Panthers, you're kind of in the same stage as New England. They're playing their young guys. Play your young guys. There's no playoff season to save here. You play your young guys if they're ready based on their readiness rather than, a veteran getting hurt or anything else. Just give the young guys an extra look.
I want to see a lot of Jalen Coker.
I want to see Coker. Sunday. I want to see Legette. I want to see Mingo. I'd like.
Do we want to see Mingo?
It's a double confirm, so you know to move on.
Yeah.
Or it is a let him play through some of these struggles. Either way, you got to know, right? I don't think he's even if you're 90% out on Mingo, play him to get 100% out, or play him to start playing that percentage lower. Just give him the opportunities because you're going to want information on these guys when you're making decisions on your roster next offseason. Do you need to give Deontay Johnson that extra $2 million a year? Or do you have some wide receivers that you think you can get by budget-wise? Those decisions are coming up this offseason, and you're going to want to have as much information on the young guys as possible. So Xavier Legette being available at practice today is a great sign, and I hope to see a whole bunch of him this upcoming week and in weeks to come. That's number 3. A little update on the Panthers. Let's jump to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Let's go Mets.
You're all in.
Makes sense. I picked them to win the World Series.
That's true, you did.
That was before the playoffs even began. They're in the middle of the first, by the way, against the Phillies right now in Game 4. But after yesterday, they lead the series 2-1.
Win today, they're on to the league championship series, right?
Well, yes, but let's.
Well, you can't be starting this saying "Let's go Mets."
No, I'm not saying we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
I'm saying let's not throw if.
Oh, okay.
This is a when situation.
Oh, fair. Okay.
The Tigers are leading the Guardians, by the way, 3-0, top 7. That series is tied at 1 game apiece, so they'll be playing on regardless of who wins. Yankees Royals tonight. This is one of those days you dream of as a baseball fan. Yankees Royals tonight, again, series tied 1-1, so pivotal game 3. And then the Dodgers backs against the wall against the Padres 2-1. That's a 9:08 opening pitch out there on the West Coast.
Dodgers trying to stave off elimination.
Shohei Ohtani. You want him in the next round?
Yes, I do.
You got to win
because they were my pick.
You got to beat the Padres. You got to beat Manny Machado and the crew. So it's a full day of baseball. And again, like I said earlier in this week, each one of these series is made for television. There's storylines, there's rivalries, there's histories on all 4 of these series. So enjoy them while they're going on. With that being said, what number was that? I'm all
that was 2.
That was number 2. Let's get to number 1. We are here live at ACC Tipoff, the kickoff event for ACC basketball. It was yesterday for the women, today for an overlap of women and men, tomorrow for the rest of the men on the basketball side of the ACC. But with today being the overlap day, it was the day the ACC Commissioner spoke, Jim Phillips. And I'm going back to a point from earlier in the show. I think the ACC needs to stop talking about how awesome the ACC is as if you're trying to convince somebody, and start talking about the ACC and how awesome it is as if everybody knows it.
Yeah.
It's not a flex if it's true. And sometimes I'm feeling a little here like people feel, like the insecure person that's like, no, I am really good at this. And I'm going like, you don't have to do that because you actually are good at this. Like, you actually are the best basketball conference in the country. And I don't think you need to go out there and come with a PowerPoint presentation to prove it. You can just let your body of work speak for itself. We do have some clips here from Jim Phillips during his comments earlier today. We'll start with Jim Phillips on the ACC men's basketball being undervalued right now.
I just think we've been undervalued, and I stated the statistics of there. This is premier basketball conference, and I know you don't get credit for past successes. I get it. I totally get it. But we just feel like the last 3 years with 5 invitations, each of those 5 years is not reflective of the basketball that's being played in this league, the coaches that are in this league, the student athletes and players that are in this league that are matriculating into the NBA and all the rest of it from a player standpoint. So we have to fix it.
Here's my pushback on that. You do get credit for the past. College sports, it is a requirement that you get credit for the past.
Yeah.
Because it is not a round robin. You're not playing every team. So let's say 2 teams, we'll just use basic numbers. Out of a 10-game schedule, 2 teams both suffer 1 loss, maybe even to a common opponent. Who gets the higher seed in the NCAA tournament? The team that was higher ranked at the beginning of the year. How do you get higher ranked at the beginning of the year? The stuff you did last year.
Yeah,
the stuff your players did a season ago, your recruiting class. What has your coach done in the past? What has your program done in the past? So where you start the season does matter, and a lot of that is built off of the past. So the ACC should be speaking facts and touting what they did a season ago and how many teams they had in the Sweet 16 and how many teams they have on average in the Elite 8. And right, the numbers that we had going into the NCAA tournament last year, where it was, over the last 15 years, the ACC has had more Sweet 16 teams, Elite 8 teams, Final 4 teams, national champions than any other conference. And I don't know if it's the exact stat, but we had them all. Those do matter, and it's not like, oh, you don't get credit for the past. You do, and you need it, because that's what you fall back on to break ties once things go one way or the other.
And again, talk about past. Okay, if you want to bring up the past, say like the 80s and 90s and things like that, okay, that's understandable. But look at the recent. Like, that's the thing as well, is that you've been successful recently. You had NC State Final Four last year. The year before that was Miami. The year before that, you had Duke and Carolina in the Final Four. Like, you've had these teams, you've had multiple teams reach national championship games. You had 3 of the Elite 8 teams last year. Like, and it all comes from like a
different, like a plethora of the teams. It's not the same 2 or 3 schools every year. I mentioned Clemson, NC State, Duke, Miami, UNC. Those 5 schools have all gone to Elite 8 in the last 3 years. Like, no other conference can say that. And that's the thing. Like, you can't. So Jim Phillips is like, yeah, our past is our past, and our recent reflects our past too, because we're still that damn good.
And not only that, then once you get to the talking about potential, once you get to the potential, there's sleeping giants like Louisville.
Yeah.
There's sleeping giants like
Pitt.
Syracuse. There's sleeping giants like Pitt. There's sleeping giants like Florida State. There's these teams have had big success, even if they're not there right now, or haven't been there in the last 2-3 years, whatever our conversation was about. Let's go back to Jim Phillips. I thought this was interesting. He's open to scaling back the conference schedule, which would buck against the trends of some other movers and shakers in college sports. Here's Phillips in his own words.
I don't think you can be too rigid right now, especially for a league that's had 15 invitations in the last 3 years. We like to stay at 20. It makes a lot of sense because we're playing, we know the matchups are going to be good, 2 ACC opponents against each other. But I think you take it a year at a time and you look at it. You try not to overreact with maybe a small sample size. But I guess what I would just, again, say, I think you have to be flexible. You have to be open-minded to it. And we'll watch it this year.
Here's the first of all, the reason why I say that's going against is most people, and I tend to get this way as well, think of everything in college sports towards media deals. And less conference games means less games to sell to your media partners, and nobody wants that. Most want more games to sell to their media partners, more conference games, more matchups of your blue blood. But outside of that, here's the problem with the ACC scaling back their conference schedule. If you scale back your conference schedule, go from 20 to, say, 16, it is imperative that you replace those games with wins, because that's how you boost net rankings. That's how you boost all of the analytics that help you get higher seeds and more teams into the NCAA tournament. I don't think ACC schools would do that. I think if you gave ACC schools 4 more non-conference games, they're calling Kentucky 4 more times. They're calling Texas. They're calling Marquette. They're not the UConn. They're not calling like a bunch of mid-major schools that they will likely beat up on and getting 4 more wins. They're calling teams to get more battle-tested for the NCAA tournament because it works.
Yeah.
We talked with Jon Scheyer earlier today. They have Kentucky, Arizona, and Kansas in their first 6 games of the year. And I said, why? And he was like, because that's why you come to Duke.
Yeah.
And that those are the games you need to play. And he's not wrong. And I think if you gave Duke 4 more non-conference games, they might pick up 2 gimmies. But they're also probably going to pick up like another game in Madison Square Garden and a game played in Jerry World against Baylor or something. Like, they're picking up real games. And there's a bunch of schools in the ACC like that, North Carolina, NC State amongst them. So I'm not sure you give them the freedom to do what they choose, because they're going to go start a fight somewhere with whatever freedom you give them.
Oh, yeah.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's our starting 5, and there's more that Jim Phillips said that we can dive into as the week goes on. Just not enough time in the day. Right now, there's enough time in the day for me to tell you about Window Nation. Tim Donnelly here for Window Nation. Right now is a great time to test drive your windows. You can start doing it right now. Turn the volume on loud so you can hear it as you walk around your house, and go open each window. Open, close. Does it open correctly? Does it stay open when you want it to? Does it close easily when you want it to? Is it hard to open? Do you see any condensation or leaks, any cracking, any peeling of the caulking or sealant? Are the windows moldy? Look at them. And if you find a few that you're looking at going, yikes, next call needs to be to Window Nation. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, plus pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. Lifetime warranty, best materials. So those things that we just talked about, the cracking, the peeling, the mold, the condensation, they don't happen with Window Nation windows. 96% satisfaction rating, 96% of the windows installed require no follow-up service. They can install your windows in 1 day or less, and they come with that lifetime warranty I was talking about. So give them a call right now, 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com to schedule. Once again, that is windownation.com. We need some numbers game contestants because we have a pair of tickets to see Mary J. Blige on her For My Fans tour. And she's bringing special guests, Neo and Mario, at Lenovo Center on Friday, January 31st. If you want to win the pair of tickets, or if you just want to win the numbers game, you got to call in now. The number to call is 919-860-5326. Once again, 919-860-5326. Call in now for your chance to play the numbers game and win some Mary J. Blige tickets. The numbers game coming up next.
Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Wow. Martin pulling Barkov away. You know, Pyotr Kochetkov's not afraid to mix it up. Vinny Veazey knocking Natchez to the ice. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Veazey and Kotkaniemi. A chance for the Rangers coming in. Anderson makes a save, and it's kept out by Martin. What a save! Martin just robbed Lindgren.
The season kicks off October 11th on your official home of the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan.
With all these new winners at the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club, we need to decide who's in charge.
We need a top prize winner.
We need someone who's good with words, like us crossword winners.
If elected leader, I will extend the hours during which all winners can use the diamond-encrusted hot tub.
Yes! New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with $370 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.04 to 4.31. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Connection, opportunity, possibility. It's what we all want. Spectrum has built a world where anything is possible, with products and services designed to work better together for a seamless connectivity experience. A connection to family and friends, a connection to education, and a connection to new opportunities. So there's no limit to how big we can dream. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Thursday Night Football means extra fun for you. Why? FanDuel Squares. Squares? Wait. That's right. It's the old Super Bowl game you play every year and you never win. Because this is better, you're going to have a better chance to win. Your numbers aren't randomly assigned. You get to pick them yourself. You can pick as many as you like. And you get to see the odds beforehand. And you can bet them live during the game. What are you waiting for? FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Bet on Squares. Plus, if you're new to FanDuel, make a $5 wager, win it, and get $300 in bonus bets. FanDuel's amazing. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have Eric in Wake Forest on the line. We have Dave in Fuquay-Varina on the line. They are going to compete in the numbers game to win some Mary J. Blige tickets, which is exciting. And we are live here at ACC Tipoff in Charlotte. So I'm actually going to lean Mary J. Blige with the question today. I was going to do something ACC related. Maybe we'll save that for tomorrow. Eric in Wake Forest, you get to answer this question first. We'll pick our favorite answer. That person will get to go first. Give us your favorite. What would Mary J. Blige peak? We're talking like early 2000s?
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s.
All right. Give us your favorite pop culture. It could be a song, could be a movie, could be a fad, something from the late 90s or early 2000s.
From the late 90s, early 2000s, movie, let's see, early 2000s, late 90s. Wow. A hip-hop movie. Can't think of one out front. Let's go with the Notorious B.I.G.'s movie.
Okay. Notorious, I think is actually what it was called. Solid answer. We'll go to Dave in Fuquay Arena. Same question to you. Give us something, some pop culture, movie, music, fad, something from the late 90s, early 2000s.
I'll have to go with What's Up?
Yeah, the Budweiser commercials.
One of them made me laugh, so that's where I would lean. But Dennis, you're the judge. Which way?
The was that was just yeah. I mean, that was.
I actually
in everyone's vocabulary, still is.
I was also a fan of the next Super Bowl when they did "What Are You Doing?"
Yeah,
it was a good callback. So Dave, you get to go first. Eric, don't worry though, you will have your chance. You just have to wait and bat second. Dave, are you ready to pick your category?
Yes.
All right, the categories are NFL D's Guys, all players whose first names start with D, NFL 2005 All Pros, Baseball Hall of Famers, and NHL Canes and Whalers only.
NFL These Guys.
All right. These are all NFL players whose first names start with the letter D. I will give you the player and the team. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Darren Sharper, Green Bay Packers.
42.
Correct. DeBrickashaw Ferguson, New York Jets.
76.
Incorrect. Darren Sproles, Philadelphia Eagles.
32.
Incorrect. DeBrickashaw Ferguson, New York Jets.
72.
Incorrect. Darren Sproles, Philadelphia Eagles.
43.
Correct. Donald Driver, Green Bay Packers.
80.
Correct. David Akers, Philadelphia Eagles.
3.
You were close on that last one. DeBrickashaw Ferguson with the New York Jets. Fun fact about DeBrickashaw Ferguson, his name is the inspiration for the Key and Peele sketch about the ridiculous names being introduced.
Oh, yeah. Kringle McCringleberry?
Yep, all of them. Disquariot, Green Chariot, or whatever the guys' names were. He wore number 60 with the Jets. David Akers, you guessed 3. It was after the buzzer, so it wouldn't have counted, but the correct answer was 2. You got all of the rest. So that is a 3.
I have a fun DeBrickashaw Ferguson stat I'll give you after we wrap up numbers game.
The anticipation is killing me. That's number. You got 3. It's a solid number. Stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. Eric in Wake Forest, it is your turn. Are you ready to pick your category?
Yes, sir.
All right. I like that. The categories are NFL 2005 All Pros, Baseball Hall of Famers, or NHL Canes and Whalers only.
2005 All Pros.
All right. All NFL players that were members of the 2005 All-Pro team. I'll give you the player and the team. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need 4 for the win. Any questions before we jump in?
Let's do it.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Sean Alexander, Seattle Seahawks.
32.
Incorrect. Tiki Barber, New York Giants.
21.
Correct. Antonio Gates, LA Chargers.
85.
Correct. Brian Urlacher, Chicago Bears.
52.
Incorrect. Sean Alexander, Seattle Seahawks.
32.
Incorrect.
33.
Brian Urlacher, Chicago Bears.
58.
Incorrect. Sean Alexander, Seattle Seahawks. Sean Alexander, number 37. 37. You were in the 30s. Urlacher with the Bears wore number 54. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And you got this one right, so I don't feel bad about it. But obviously, Antonio Gates played for the San Diego Chargers, not the LA Chargers. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that we are aware, just misspoke. But you got it right, so I don't feel bad. You did get 2, not enough for the win, but hopefully you had fun.
I did.
Nah.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. And that brings us to Dave in Fuquay. Dave, what's up?
What's up? Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you.
You won the tickets. You get to see Mary J. Blige. Congratulations. Stay on the line. Graham has some info he needs to get from you. But, like I said, congratulations. Dennis, I'm waiting with bated breath. What's the DeBrickashaw-Ferguson stat?
So DeBrickashaw-Ferguson only missed 1 snap in his entire career. 1 snap.
Wow.
Do you know who replaced him in his 1 snap?
I have a feeling it's something completely ridiculous.
It is.
Tebow.
No. Darrelle Revis.
Interesting.
So once the Jets late in the game, they knew they needed to lateral the football. They basically do that to try and see if they can get downfield. So out of desperation, what they did was they actually replaced all their offensive linemen with like skilled guys.
It's not a bad move,
so,
actually.
which I'm like, why don't more teams actually do that? Especially if you know you're just going to get the ball out quickly and you're lateraling. I want guys that can run fast and handle the ball. So DeBrickashaw-Ferguson was placed on that play by Darrelle Revis. Darrelle Revis lined up as the left tackle on that play. That's the only snap in his whole career.
Crazy. I knew it was something crazy.
Only snap
and I knew
in his whole
Tebow was
career.
on the Jets for a second. I like to guess, but Revis would have been a good one as well. Along those lines, though, because you know how I get with those kind of outside the box thoughts.
Mhm.
You should have all your quarterbacks on the field.
Yeah,
throwing it sideline to sideline instead of those little half toss reverses that you try to pull off when you get to the pitchy woo woo. Make it like a spiral 40 yards across field and see what happens.
Yeah, especially like run like some sort of trick play or whatever it is.
It is a.
But I've always wondered why, if you know you're just going to be lateraling the football, playing rugby out there, essentially, why don't you put more skill guys out there in the field? That's why I look. Get out your fastest guys. Anyway, that just makes sense to me.
Turn it into full rugby. Here's a little bit of breaking-ish news. Former South Carolina Gamecocks quarterback Spencer Rattler will be making his first start this Sunday for the New Orleans Saints in replacing of Derek Carr versus the Buccaneers.
Oh, good on him.
So you go back to the last season's Dukes Mayo Kickoff Classic. Drake May versus Spencer Rattler. They will both make their first NFL starts the same week.
Interesting.
1 year later.
Interesting.
For different reasons, but still, they're both making their first.
Can't remember who the
same
Saints
time.
have this weekend.
Buccaneers.
Bucks. That's right. It's a divisional matchup. It's all divisional matchup this weekend in the NFC South.
Yes, it is.
That's right. Panthers play the Falcons. I'll be there on Sunday. I'll be back here in Charlotte.
Oh, true.
I know. What?
You get used to that drive, huh?
I do, actually.
The drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9
Train
The Fan.
also works.
We still have to wrap up everything from here at ACC Tipoff, but first, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here, my friends over at Loan Pronto. Lower mortgage rates are finally here, folks, thanks to the Fed and Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.59% APR, the lowest in 2 years. Now, whether you got your loan last month or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto and dump that high rate loan. You can lock in a lower rate fast with virtually no paperwork and usually no appraisal. There's no limit on how many times you can refi. So get started. Use this opportunity to get cash out and wipe out your credit cards. You can do a cash out refi and get 50, 75, 100 grand or more out of your home. Use that to pay off all your high interest debt and end up with just one low monthly payment. If you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Purchase loans available as well, folks. So call now. Get your rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. VA Streamline loans are also available, folks, with Loan Pronto. So call 919-381-1760 or loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan will recap our day that was at ACC Tipoff here in Charlotte. Stick around.
The Adam Gold Show.
Look, we can talk about all of the scenarios and what happens next, but let's just remember, Mac Brown came back and restored order to North Carolina football. He got relationships with the high schools back going forward so you can recruit locally. Right now, it's not going well, and the future isn't super bright, but Mac deserves credit for getting them to this point.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1932 $10 gold Indian coins have been found. These gorgeous 1932 gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 500 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling the secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1932 dated gold coin featuring Lady Liberty with an Indian war headdress and a majestic eagle. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1932 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 92 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-495-6468. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus over a $55 value free with every order. Call 1-800-495-6468 now to secure your 1932 $10 gold Indian coins before they sell out. Don't wait. You must act fast. Call now.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to HIMSS.com/joy.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
Charlotte, almost said in Raleigh, in Charlotte is so the NC State contingent's running a little late, which actually does kind of lead into the thing I wanted to know about the Wolfpack this season is how do you work to make sure you don't have that Final Four hangover? Being a very highly requested team, being a very hot commodity at ACC Tipoff is part of that, right? Unlike maybe in recent years, State is the belle of the ball coming through ACC Tipoff after becoming one of the national stories, especially at the end of the year last year. Meanwhile, and I won't say what team, but I will say it's one of the new teams. They're walking around saying, "Hey, we have open interview time. Can you get us on?"
Yeah.
That's the two ends of the spectrum, right? NC State, everybody wants to talk to them. They're going to be a little late. Some of these other teams, hey, anybody with a microphone want to talk to me? You don't even have to record. I just want to talk. It's two different beasts. So as NC State makes their way down here, we're expecting to talk to Michael O'Connell, senior point guard, head coach Kevin Keatts, as well as Jayden Taylor, the returning leading scorer for NC State. So we'll bring you those as they happen. A little bit of interesting news in the NCAA sports world. This is where I swear I should have continued going to law school, but instead I just never applied for anything that would have gotten me remotely near law school.
That's fair.
The NCAA Division I Council has approved the immediate elimination of letters of intent.
Oh, okay.
National letters of intent, that entire deal, which started in 1964, donezo. And they're being replaced with a new financial aid agreement that I just read an article on it. Sounds like it does the exact same things that a letter of intent does.
Yeah.
I think the only reason I can come up with where this would make sense or be a necessity is if it were setting up some kind of like contract situation when schools can pay players. And the NLI, the National Letters of Intent, didn't do that. But it is looking like contracts are coming our way at some point in time in college sports. But the letter of intent, does this mean we're not going to have signing days?
I guess.
Or are you going to sign just as something else?
I mean, I guess, I don't know. That's an interesting thing.
It used to be you would fax in your letter of intent.
Literally
at like
fax it.
7. Well, you still have to fax them.
You still do, yeah.
But it used to be you'd fax them in at like 7 a.m. and then you'd have your signing ceremony at school at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you would literally just sign like a blank sheet of paper because just they need something for the picture. And you had already made it official at 7 a.m. because you wanted to lock in your spot, unless you were, a giant recruit. But it looks like
no more hats on tables? Are we going to have no more hats on tables? That's what I want to know. I want hats on tables, Tim.
I was always jealous of those guys when I was being recruited, so now I hate the hats on tables.
Oh, really?
Because I was a walk-on, so I didn't have anything to sign. I just had a text to the coach like, "Hey, see you in training camp." So I hated all of those. And if you just did the hats, if you had 3 hats and all right, my pick is, and you picked one, fine. But if you picked one, put it on your head, threw it, picked up the other, put it on your head, threw it, picked up the other, put it on your head, stood up, unzipped your hoodie, different team on the inside of your shirt. That was, I don't know why it shouldn't, right? You're living a dream, have fun. But for me, it was always the worst. So I'm anti letter of intent signing ceremonies, but that's mostly just a bitter old, petty grudge holding former athlete.
I never got to do that because I was Division III. You didn't have letter of intent.
Walk-ons
so
didn't either.
it was kind of the similar type thing. We just decided to
just say, see ya.
Going over here.
It does look like Michael O'Connell is in the building, senior guard and NC State's returning assist leader from last year's Final Four and ACC championship team. Joining us now, throwing the headset on. We're running in live straight into the interview. So, Michael, thank you very much for taking the time.
Graham,
I guess I'll ask with the little delay there. Everybody wants to talk to you this year after the Final Four run. You're just the most popular guy around here.
I don't know about the most popular, but we've definitely had some people wanting to do little interviews and talk to with like JT and I. So it's definitely been a busy day.
One of the things I'm curious about with your team this year is the idea of the Final Four hangover, the championship hangover. You guys had so much success at the end of the year last year, and rightfully so. The celebrations and the accolades were all there. But how do you combat maybe the complacency or the expectation that, it's just going to happen again, and maybe you don't put in the work?
Yeah, I think one thing that's going to just inherently happen is we have a new team, right? So a lot of the guys that are here this year weren't a part of the team last year. They didn't experience it. So I think there's that hunger from them because they know what we were able to do and what we were capable of, especially with the guys returning, and they want to experience that. So I think just the drive the new guys have coming in, plus the guys that are returning want to get back to that. That's obviously one of the best feelings when you win an AC championship and make it to a Final Four. We all just want to just do it again, and for the returners and for new guys to experience it for the first time. So I think that's one of the biggest drivers, just the hunger to, have that feeling and experience that emotion.
We're talking with Michael O'Connell, senior guard for NC State. How often do people bring up the shot against UVA?
Pretty often. I would say if I'm, in a grocery store or walking around, and people, come up pretty often now to take photos and bring up the shot or different moments throughout the season. So it's been a pretty cool experience, just knowing I've had an impact on, the fans, the community.
And once again, that was Michael O'Connell from earlier today, senior guard for the NC State Wolfpack. And, obviously talking about that UVA shot is, I don't know if you get tired of it. Maybe that was the wrong way to ask that question. But what I should have asked was, is it just like Groundhog's Day? Like, does anyone ever bring anything new to that conversation? Or is it just, oh my gosh, that shot was awesome. Thank you. And then you move on. Like, if you're gonna pester them, maybe get a little clever. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending as well as we wrap up the show. They're the home of the no-cost loan, the no closing cost loan. Gordon Miller's been doing it since 1987. And what that means is you don't have to worry, at least not as much, about the rising and falling and the volatility of rates, which are going to be rising and falling and volatile, especially during an election year, because you have the flexibility. You have the flexibility of refinancing without taking the money out of your pocket for costs and fees. You have the flexibility of locking in your original mortgage without taking out the money for costs and fees, thus giving you a little bit of an on-ramp where, if rates come down in the next 2, 3, 4 months, 2, 3, 4 years, you refinance, you get that rate down to a monthly payment that you're interested in. You get to take advantage of the market rather than letting the market take advantage of you. In the end, you just want to give them a call and let them explain how a no closing cost loan can help you. The number to call is 919-447-3377. Once again, 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that is millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. All day today, Dennis and I have been out here in Charlotte at ACC Tipoff, taking in the sights and sounds.
It's been a fun time.
It's been a blast. These are always a good time. And tomorrow will be as well. And the teams that we'll be talking to, UNC, Wake Forest, Tony Bennett from Pitt, Tony Bennett from UVA, Jeff Capel from Pitt. It's going to be another fun one. So tomorrow at 3 for the drive, be sure to be tuned in right here to 99.9 The Fan. If you missed our conversation with Jon Scheyer from earlier, that's going to lead off Overdrive, followed by Kevin Keatts.
By the way, for Carolina fans, UNC fans, lock in 3:30 tomorrow. That's where we're going to have Hubert Davis. We're going to have Seth Tremble. We're going to have RJ Davis, 3:30 tomorrow.
Set your alarm. Just get there at 3. Be there for the whole show.
That's true. You can also be there for that, too.
3:30 also.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, have a great night, everybody.
Keep pounding.